Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just two spoon, you will know. If the children crying for starvation, just two spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, two spoon. You want to know what is happening in Monrovia, two spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just two spoon. You want to know what's happening in the ministry, two spoon. Yeah, two spoon. Yeah, two spoon. You from Fonjema, Maryland, two spoon. Yeah, two spoon. If you eat kepan, gradually, my brother, two spoon. You got a spoon TV, you got a spoon radio, two spoon. Yeah, two spoon. You wanna get a news update, two spoon. What? Yeah, Rastafari. Kilibamba, 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 kilibamba. What I want? Yes, man, you bati leo. Spoon TV. Yes, man, you bati leo. Spoon TV. Spoon Bada 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 bada. Skiddy biddy biddy bada.
Yes, a special one from the CEO, Stanton with the spoon. And your boy, Friday the Southern Band. Charges on the beat.
To the spoon to get your information. To the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon.
Oh, yes, indeed. Welcome wherever you find yourself watching Spoon TV. We are here live this wonderful evening from Monrovia, Liberia. So welcome to today's edition of the program, the Spoon Talk, Liberia's #1 show on radio and online. So if you're watching there in Grand Gita County, welcome this wonderful evening. Our folks in Grand Bassa, I want to welcome you, Maryland, and just wherever you find yourself watching from. Those who are watching from across the world online, oh well, we want to take this time to welcome you this wonderful evening from the nation's capital, Monrovia. Yes, today is August 2024, and the celebration is quite ongoing right now across Monrovia and its environs, and in fact across the entire country. People are still celebrating, going to entertainment spots and just trying to mingle with friends and families and all of that. So my name is Strokon Flammer. Gonna be sitting here until our panelists arrive this evening on the show. At which time we're gonna be going in so much more to talk about on today's edition of the program. So it's quite good that we are here to discuss Liberia. That's why you have to make sure that you tune in to Spoon 107.5, Fabric 101.1 FM, Super 95.5 to be live, to listen and also to share your views, comments, suggestions, opinions on some of those issues that making rounds in the country. So we're gonna be taking what's on your mind. Yeah, we have to talk to Liberians as we wait on our people to come online from the US and other parts of the world, making sure to set up to have it on. So let me see whether we can get everything on. So to have you, yeah, so to have you this evening on the show. Yeah, so we're gonna get going right now on the show this evening. So today is August 24th, Liberia's uh flag day on today, the flag of Liberia, which we should be celebrating uh wherever you find yourself as a Liberian. This is a symbol for the country, and we should carry that flag in our hearts, in our minds, to promote national unity and cohesion. So it's quite good that we're going to be going to the line this evening here to hear from our listeners, to share your views, comments, suggestions, opinions on some of those issues. Maybe you can comment on the Flag Day or other national issues. 055 101075 or 077771075 to be live here this evening on this Poem Talk, the August 24th edition 2024. We take this person here. Good evening and welcome.
Good evening. How are you? Good evening, sir.
Good evening, welcome to the show. Let's hear you. Your name and where are you calling from?
I'm having B man senior calling for Congratulations.
Let's hear you quickly.
Um, my I've been drawn to things that I've been hearing around the town or on the social media. That is, before you, if for instance, if there's a drug cartel somewhere here, why say that the security have to get or permit by all means before getting to that area? Because most time when they get it, they take all they will despair, they will run away, they will go somewhere else. So what security you get or permit before going to those areas? So I don't understand. That's one of my key concerns this evening.
Okay, thank you. We have to go this line. Hello, good evening and welcome.
Good evening.
Let's hear you.
Hello.
Let's hear you. Welcome to the show. Let's hear you.
Yeah, thank you. My name is Yankwa Johnson. I joined you from Chikizu Project Golf this evening.
Yangwa, what's happening?
Let me say happy Friday to the families and the entire Spoon family. One of my man this evening, I want to see the Ministry of Education. I really want to bring back the civics in the brain school. I don't know why they take away from in school in the bureau. Because this time around, people don't have love for the country, but still having love for political party. And those civics always teach you how to get love for your country and defend your country. But this time around, we're not seeing it.
Okay.
So I'm taking the Ministry of Education that brings civics back in the school system.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, good evening.
Hello, Damo.
Go ahead. This is Stroke on. Welcome.
Oh, Trogon, thank you. This is Angun Akodiwa Dubo Road.
Go ahead.
I'm grateful for this day today, this National Flag Day. The keynote speaker spoke well today, and yes, and then she talked a lot of things, and I'm grateful for it to let our young stuff know about the flag, about our nation, about what Liberia has been before other nations have come to this country and acquired knowledge and got to the country, but we stay behind. But we should unite as a nation. And besides, Liberia as a whole, most of these young guys nowadays, they fighting for party, political parties, they're fighting for a nation. If we say we are American example, we should be able to be like America. When Donald Trump had an incident in our Liberia, the whole country is upside down. But I tell you, thank you for our nation and center. Waterspoon, because he's a mayor of his world. He stayed for Liberia, not for no party or something. Because for everybody, he laughed at them and then he made sure that they all come to one conclusion to Liberia is a state for everybody, not for one person. I'm grateful to the Spoon family on a serious note.
Thank you.
Clinton is a mayor. When he want to be president, Liberia will vote for him on a serious note.
Thank you so much. We have to go to another caller here this evening on the program. Hello, good evening and welcome.
Good evening.
Let's hear you. Welcome. Your name and where are you calling from?
Okay, I'm Darius Pawon. I come from Buffalo Island.
Go ahead, Darius.
Okay, so I'd like to say happy Flag Day to all Liberians, and I'm very glad for the oration today by Ambassador Madam Ikirali, the former foreign minister. She spoke well and she brought some historicity to us, as to the foundation of this country. And like the previous caller said, we need to be nationalistic, we need to be patriotic. And the issue of the flag need to unite us, because with all being patriotic, I will not take our country serious. You see, this time people are holding loyalty to parties and to individuals and to the country. And without the country, you cannot have a party, or you can nobody will be fighting for presidency.
Okay.
So we should put the country, beyond
30 seconds. Trocon, 30 seconds.
that we support.
All right.
Also,
Thank you.
One key
Quickly.
1 minute. Yeah, quickly. One key she talked about is the issue of the drugs.
30 seconds, Trocon. We got to go. We got a lot of people calling.
The national emergency. So all of the recommendations she put forward, I think the government needs to take this very seriously.
Thank you
All
very
right.
much.
We
Thank
have
you.
to take
Trocon.
another person here
Sugar.
on this line. Hello, good evening.
Trocon.
Good evening, Pluto.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Just
Cool, can you
just
yell at
1
CEO? Can you yell at
second,
CEO?
and then we can.
Johnson,
Come
yeah.
on.
I want to thank you for calling on this, for putting this show up for the talk. I want to commend the speaker today. She made a lot of recommendations. I want for the government to look at the recommendations, study them well, and implement them.
Thank
so
you.
that we have good Liberia. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Trocon, you can hear me?
CEO,
Yeah. Can you hear me?
well, you sounding a little bit far from.
But adjust your headphone. Adjust something. It's not me.
Yeah.
Are you a stranger in the studio? You've been running away. That's the thing. But we can only take calls for 30 seconds. Each caller will have 30 seconds, okay? We got a big show today. We got to bring everybody on. So, are you hearing me?
Yeah. I think you're much more okay now.
Am I okay, or I'm much more okay? Or I'm not okay at all?
You're okay.
Thank you. Trocon, let's just pay attention. I want to do something real quick before you go back to the phone line, because we got another 5 more minutes. Guys, welcome to the show. Share this show. I want to play the video I've been keeping since 2002. This is in connection to everything I've been saying on this show. The crew people say, Sebella 20. Trocon, are you hearing me? Trocon, what are you looking at? Leave magic. Let magic do a thing. Pay attention here. You're in studio now. Leave
I'm
magic.
hearing you.
Yeah, but leave magic. Don't look at magic. He will set the people up. If you can speak crew, this is Sebella 20. Okay? And this is when we have where you get Glenny behind you for. We're not hearing you.
You hearing me?
You just, but what you doing to the man house?
That's my relative.
we
I
not.
can't visit him. I can't check on him.
Yeah, but move on camera. You're not on the show today.
That's why I can't
Go
visit. I
back.
just want to say hi. Bye.
No, but go back now and go get on the show. Leave it alone. Hey man, what kind of thing is so? We have to discuss national issue. Then you go, so you care for the man. Benny.
Why you worried about it?
My man, now American woman.
I ain't even worry because the woman I even know how to say how Oh man, listen, what is it? So what is in that card, Lenny? That empty card or you put something
No,
inside?
they can't feel take. I think small my inside.
You better open it. That letter the woman wrote and fold the paper and put it inside. You better open it. That's the traditional Liberian way. They will write you long letter and fold everything and put it inside.
What's somebody to do?
Yeah.
Get it, do.
No, but I wait for Glenny. I want to show something to the Liberian people today. I'll wait for Glenny. Let Glenny come. But
what you say? What in 20? What in 20?
Say better 20. If you ever put it down, say better 20. If you ever you put it down. You see my flag?
I got two flare flashes.
You got two. Do I don't get one? Chogo, why you fly in the why you fly in the studio, Chogo?
In the studio,
Flap for you.
Go on behind you to the flat day. Come on, man.
But just really flap high.
Maya put a flat there. That Glenny come. I want to show the Liberian people something.
Hey,
I've been very concerned about what I bought to show the Liberian people. It's very concerning to me that if you ain't want to tell that false. But Donald, why you acting like you scared? Why you acting like you worried? What happening?
I like this shirt. I love this shirt.
Wait, my man. Lead that shirt. When a man acting like he's scared, he worried. That's my own video I said I won't show. The man acting like he's scared and he worried. You know.
That's our president made a video. No, but stand on. Somebody called me today. They say you can joke sometimes, but sometimes your joke, the people can believe that your joke then are true. It will affect people.
No, but the Liberian people believe me. You know, the Liberian, remember, I have that relationship with our people. I wouldn't want Glenny. Is she coming back?
Coming back.
Let's leave video, but we got serious in the toilet today.
My man, I must play the video. Glenny, with that avatar, I want to be on. I guess when I'm video, I want to show the people. I've been keeping the videos since 2002. Yeah. We are talking about Flag Day. How somebody went with that salute. Yeah. You know.
That was that salute?
No, I didn't know Dwalu at the time. So.
Yeah. 2002, thank God you didn't know me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2002, I didn't know that. But Chogon, don't worry. Don't let the man scare you, Chogon. The man can call you when they get tired. Don't let the man scare you. The man scare already.
I hear you.
No, don't let the man scare you. Let me play the video. Say Ava went to see a visitor. Guys, look at the video and tell me what you see.
If you do not have to rush out, please do not rush out. If you have to go, we do understand.
That Donald Flag did this.
You want to see real dancing?
There you go.
And that competition we on?
Yeah.
Before the show over, I will show my own dancing with my wife.
Look at trouble.
Yeah, how much? And the Liberian people will decide today. Thank God we get Fula coming. The Liberian people will decide. I keep my own for life. You keep the best for life.
Take complete people are not here.
And Duadu, no. The people come and play again.
Okay.
And Duadu share una dancing. He dancing. You will see my wife Flower and myself dancing. I challenge anybody. Anybody. You will vote. And folks, don't forget, we got a big show today. And we also want to say to you that we got $500 contribution from Alpha Joy, he contributed 500 at the entire Fulani team as a giveaway on this flag day. If you know anything about the Liberian flag, we will be taking calls later after the show. Once we open the phone line, you call, you answer question. We want to spend the entire 500.
Let me go.
Yeah, thank you. We want to spend the entire 500. You got me on when you get home, Glenny?
Yeah, well, I get home.
Okay. We want to spend the entire 500, and we want you to call once we open the phone line, and you win yourself $10, $15, $20. It's a giveaway from the group we're about to bring up today. Duadu, we're going to be starting the show. I know the rest of the team going to join us, but I need to ask you this, Duadu. Where are you right now with our discussion tonight?
Well, let the people, they will spearhead the discussion. They are coming to present their case to the Liberian people. And I don't want to preempt their decision of what they intend to do, but let them come on the show. Dr. Bob will be here. The Fulani community is going. They're going to be here as well, and they will explain to the Liberian people their intention and what they intend to achieve. I think that's.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Avad, and you?
Well, we got some strong opinions on what's happening here. But we embrace new ideas and new thoughts. But it's definitely an incentive for people to watch with, $500. People could win $20 out there that didn't have bad electing today. So it's a good thing. Let our Fulani brothers and sisters come on.
Yeah.
And let's see where we go. Let the Liberian people have the input. Let's see where they can win. And I know you got some creative ways for them to get their money here, so we'll see.
Yeah, but I want before I forget, Stanton, happy Flag Day across the country. All you guys out there in Sesto, across the country, from Zoe Drew to Vonjuman to Robert Sports, across the country, man. Happy Flag Day. Let's continue to elevate this country. Wherever you are, do your small part. Your life will go up small. Yeah. You're welcome.
You caught Bugangida and Hopper off. You don't reach all the way down.
You finish it.
Yeah, so folks, you understand that we have 15 countries. You understand that we have a lot of different culture, ethnicity, group, tribes, whatever you find yourself. But it's important today that you listen, and we all listen well. Our issue in our country, whether to add another tribe, another group, whatever you find yourself, like Ava just said, you have your own different spin, your own different suggestion, your opinion. But who are the Fulani when it comes to Liberia? Their origin. Who are the Fulanis when you talk about our Liberia economy? Who are the Fulanis? What strength? This group of people. And some people so confused. They were explained by themselves and for themselves. But I was in school. I had a classmate by the name Ba, So, Jalo, Afa, Mohammed. Different name. And the misconception, Duadu, when you hear the name Ba or Muhammad or Alpha, you think they are Mandingo. You think they are Fulani, they are not Liberian. Some people say they are Liberian, but who are they? So whatever you find yourself today, whether in diaspora, whether in Liberia, whatever you find yourself, let's have the conversation today. It's a must that we have this conversation. I reach out to some lawmakers, they want to be in the back because the negotiations are ongoing legally. So they do not want to speak on this issue nationally, and it will be conflict if they come and give their position and their own opinion on this. So we'll be happy today to welcome Alpha Joe Ahmed Ba. We'll be bringing him on. He's in studio with Haji Ibrahim, Mr. Wallace Power. You got Mohammed. Sorry if I'm not saying your last name. I will just call the name that I'm saying. And we got Atimans. Atimans, you remember him? I just get to understand that he's in Liberia. He's one of the strength. When you talk about Liberia, we brought him on the show again. And I like this guy, Atimans Gay. So we'll be bringing him on, and we'll have a wonderful, good conversation. We'll put politics into it. That's what we do, because you cannot take away politics. But before I do that, let me bring in Alpha Joe, that he can bring in his people. Let's welcome to the show. He said, don't call me Mr., don't call me this, so I would just call him Alpha. Welcome to the show, Alpha. It is good seeing you. We're glad to have you. Welcome.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, all the panelists. Thank you very much. Welcome, the Spoon panelists. You asked us who we are as Fulani. We answer that question today and educate Liberian people. Ava know who Fulani are. Dwalu know who Fulani are. You know who Fulani are. But again, we say Happy Flag Day to Liberia. We as Liberians, we took the pledge from since we're in elementary school. We pledge allegiance to the flag of the Republic of Liberia and to the Republic of Liberia for which it stands. One nation indivisible with liberty and justice for all. We all from elementary school know that pledge. So thank you again, Spoon, for welcoming our group. We have several people in the background. I will do the introduction and we'll give several people a few minutes to do their introduction. There are 7 pillars.
Before you do that, Alpha George, before you do that, I want you to, if you call the name, let me bring them on. The only group we are seeing Mr. Gay, we are seeing Mr. Power, we are seeing Haji and Mohammed. So you still got 4 individuals in the back.
Yes, sir.
For now, correct?
Correct.
Spencer,
Okay.
This is what I'm saying. Just 1 second. Liberian people, this is a show. I want you to come and allow your minds to get open. You don't have to accept anything that's being said, but I want you to open your minds because when RDS compete, the truth come out. Let RDS compete. This is a suggestion here today. Dr. Ba, it's up to you, sir.
We got Alaji Sangare in the background. We have Dr. Gay. We have Abdul Rahman. We have Cherno. We have in the US, we have Deneba. We also have Muhammad C. So I know the studio can only host 3 people right now, and then the other 3 people will come in accordingly. But these are the panelists, and we have Abdul Rahman, who is in the background. We have Deneba, she's in Canada. We have Cherno, who is in Boston as well. So welcome, everybody. Again, I will take a few minutes to introduce myself.
Before you do that, I'm sorry. I want us to, we have Diallo, but he's not in yet about his camera, his video. If he's not on, we have to remove that individual and bring someone else. So again, just tell them in your chat room, if they're coming on, they should come ready because we have to be in and out. We don't have enough time, but 2 hours, then we'll run into the question. So again, we have the Dinanba. How you call her, Jennifer or Dianaba?
Deneba. She's in Canada. Yes, sir.
That's her, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. So that Dianaba Diallo refused to take my call and she called me and she didn't call me. No, it's not Espon. She promised to call me, Dwalu, right? Oh, it's Espon. Yeah, I'll call you back and I will say. So now I got her in studio. We'll talk that one later. All right. Gentlemen, can you come into the camera small? You're getting off. Can you put yourself in the middle? And we have another Diallo. I think the name was Kemon Diallo. All right. So Kemon, we cannot bring you in because we are 10 in studio. So we're going to alternate. Okay. We'll rotate. Just please. Just stay in the bar. We cannot bring you in right now because we are 10 in studio. It's all yours, Mr. Alpha Jao Ahmed Ba III.
Well, again, I would say thank you to the entire panelists. We appreciate you taking our cause, and we look forward to working with everybody in Liberia to promote the cause of the Fulani. We have seven key pillars we're going to talk about today. Since people want to know who the Fulani are, we want to talk about 7 key pillars. The first pillar we're going to talk about is education. We want to educate people in the Liberian community about what the Fulani are, what we have brought to the table. Number 2, we want to highlight our potential, what we have contributed, our fathers, our grandfathers, our sisters, our brothers, our mothers, from the Vai side, the Bassa side, the Loma side, the Mandingo side, the Crew side. We're going to bring that to the table. Number 3, we're going to talk about raising awareness. We want the Fula people to be aware of their rights in the Republic of Liberia. Not everybody will just come and trample on our right and we just take it anymore. We are tired and we are ready for this battle. Number 4, we're going to promote our culture. We're going to promote different culture in the Liberian community because we all know on this panel Ava can tell you, Sam Gay can tell you, Wallace can tell you. We have Fula Basa people, we have Fula Loma people, we have Fula Crew people. So we're going to talk about promoting our culture. We're going to affirm our identity as well. And then we're going to advocate for inclusion. Then we're going to enhance the benefit that the Fula people have brought to the Liberian community for generations since Abdul Rahman. I think Stanton, I sent you a clip to post when Abdul Rahman was being taken to Liberia. You can play that later on, that'll be fine. But anyway, again, guys, thank you to the panel. Thank you, Liberia. Thank you, everybody, Flag Day. My name is Alfajo Ahmed Ba III. My father's name is Ahmed Amadou Ba. All the Fula people know him as Amadou Doctor. He was the first Fula governor in the Republic of Liberia. He served the Liberian army as a soldier, a medic. He went to Congo during the Patro Lubuma and Mao Chombe War. When he came from Congo, Todmont asked him to be ambassador to France. My father said, no, I don't want to be no ambassador. I want to be the governor for the Fula people in the Republic of Liberia and for Fula ethnic group to be recognized. My father stayed in Liberia. He worked at National Public Health Service. He opened pharmacy throughout Liberia. And I think just by talking to people, the first pharmacy ever opened in Buchanan on Anthony Thomas Street was owned by my father. It was called Red Cell Pharmacy. My father also had A&A Pharmacy. I think, Spoon, you grew up in the Carway area. The pharmacy right there to Carway Junction was also owned by my father. My father opened place in Bombing and so far. My father never opened business thinking he was a Fula man. My father opened business to serve the Liberian. So I will leave it at that. I know other people want to introduce themselves again. Our goal here is to educate Liberia on the principle of the Fula, who we are, how we are contributed to Liberia for generations. And we have been marginalized and we have been treated differently. And we let Liberia know we are here to work with anybody. I will say this one in Fula. What men, Fiko men, what on them folk, see, what lali men, what atama, Sangari can interpret that one for me, please. Because I don't know Fula. You're the best Fula interpreter.
Thank you very much, Alpha George. Thank you very much. Again, you guys are welcome. We're going to go around the table. Again, we'll give you 1 minute each. Introduce yourself before we get into the main conversation. You know, Mr. Duado, you know, as if we will be here. We are hosting you guys. So it's onto your program. Let's go to Dinamba Diallo. Welcome to the show, sister. It's good to have you. You have your 1 minute.
Thank you so much for having us today. My people, yeah, hello. My name is Jennifer Diallo, and I am a proud Liberian. So today I am standing on the strength and the shoulders of my grandfather, Uncle Amadou Ba, of my father, Dr. Alpha Amadou Diallo, and of my mother, Beverly Diallo. They work tirelessly as educators in Liberia, as caregivers, and as community leaders in Liberia. I also want to say I consider myself a Liberian of Fula descent. Okay. And I attended J.J. Roberts Elementary. I went to College of West Africa, CWA, and I also attended University of Liberia before leaving during the Civil War. I have been away from Liberia for 30 years. I'm a citizen of the world, but I do not feel safe in my home country of Liberia. And that is because despite all the years that have passed, the same marginalization, the same discrimination, and the same acts of aggression still continue to persist, even though we're looking at 5th and 6th generation Fulas in Liberia. When I got asked to be a part of this panel, I hesitated for so long because some of the old feelings of marginalization came back. I'm a Liberian when I speak. I'm a Liberian when people see me. But as soon as I call my name, then, oh, now you're a foreigner. And so that was hurtful and is still hurtful today. And I feel like it's about time that we allow and we consider Liberian Fulas to be full-fledged Liberians. And so I am happy today to be a part of this discussion, and I'm open for any questions and remarks. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Madam Diado. Thank you very much for joining the forum today. We want to say it again, please, guys. Let's do the 1 minute. You have many and a lot of folks in the back. We want to bring them on for your introduction. If you can take 1 minute, Mr. Alhaji Ibrahim Sang. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thank you and good evening to all. My name is Alhaji Ibrahim Sangare. I am a businessman who was born and grew up in Cape Mount, Grand Cape Mount County, to be precise, in Tewa District, in Bese Town. I am a businessman and a Liberian. I am the president of the Fula Progressive Union of Liberia. Thank you.
You are the president of the Fulani Progressive Union?
The Fula Progressive Union of Liberia.
Okay. All right. And then before we move forward, since you said that, thank you. Just mute yourself. We will control it, sir. So again, before we move forward, this organization, what's the name, real quick, Mr. Sangari?
As I said earlier, is the Fula Progressive Union of Liberia.
Okay, so it's different from the group here in the diaspora, Mr. Alpha Joe?
It is the same organization. We are all Fula, and they are members of the Fula Progressive Union of Liberia.
Thank you,
they
sir.
have a branch in the States.
Stanton, in saying that, we are the same organization, the Fula Progressive Union of the United States of America. I'm the chairman of the entire union, and he's the president.
Thank you for the clarity, because we folks thought you were the president, Mr. Alpha Joe, but thank you. And welcome, Mr. President, for the organization. It's good to have you, Mr. Sankara. Let's go to my brother. Brother Gay, just some text here. We're hearing you. Go ahead for your interest, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes, you are good, Gay. Go ahead, talk to us.
Oh, Dr. Gay, Artemis.
Dr. Gay, talk to us. Thank you.
And I'm here because we need to tell our story, the greater story of Liberia. And the best way to tell the story is to tell it by ourselves. So I come here bearing full witness to our national history that is sometimes, almost all the time, misunderstood. So we pray that on this Flag Day, as we memorialize those 7 women, we can use today as a marker in Liberia history of knowing who the Fulanis of Liberia are. So that's why I'm here.
Thank you, Dr. Gay. It's good to see you again. And on behalf of the network, our sympathy to you. We know we exchanged when your father passed away. Am I correct?
Yes.
Thank you very much. We wish you and the family well. Mr. Mohammed?
Thank you, Mr. Stanton Waterspoon. It's indeed a pleasure to be on the Spoon Network show. I'm Mohammed C. I was born onto the Blessed Union of Mohammed Alpha C disease in Kadiatu Famule. I graduated from BWRS in 2013 as a valedictorian and a Division II candidate. Subsequently matriculated at the University of Liberia, where I was actively involved into student politics, graduated from the Department of Economics Honors, and I've also been involved in academic excellence, taught at several secondary schools, and I'm here for several reasons, but most importantly, I'm here to make a case for the Fulani community, why the Fulanis are citizens, why the Fulani continue to be faced with discrimination. So it's good to give us this platform so as to make the real intellectual case why the Fulani are citizens of the Republic of Liberia. It's an honor to be on the platform.
Thank you, Mr. Say. Thank you very much. Let me bring in Mr. Wallace Powell. Mr. Powell, welcome, sir. Mr. Powell, you have to unmute yourself because you are not in studio, please. Are you with us, Mr. Powell?
You said that I'm muted.
No, you're good now. You're good. Go ahead, sir.
Okay,
You're good.
great. Yeah, I was saying that I'm going to take 1 second of this opportunity to let Mr. Weatherspoon know that I have watched him over the last, I would say, at least 4 years. And so much so that I can define all of the members of his original panelists, starting with him. But of course, that's for another day. My name is Wallace Powell. As you can see, my face betrays my age. So, meaning that among you young people here, I want to take a bet that I'm the oldest. Notwithstanding, I have been fortunate, or I'm privileged to be able to stand my grounds among any age group. And I appeal especially to the young people. So I come here with the intention and expectation that I will gain a whole lot being here. And of course, I too, being an older person who's been in the field for a long time, am sure that I'll be able to share some good experience with you. Now, I'm Wallace Powell. I have joined the struggle of the Fulani group to seeking what you call recognition as one of the tribes. And so I joined based upon 3 basic reasons. One is that the father of this Fulani group, the late, we call him Dr. Bar, but the pharmacist that Mr. Bar just spoke of. Well, Mr. Bar and I I was fortunate to have served in the army with him, and the basis by which he became an army personnel, being a non-citizen, we'll discuss that later on. I come from a background as a former controller of the Ministry of Defense. I also come from a background of the former Controller General of the Ministry of Defense. And prior to that, I've done several training abroad as a military personnel. And I expect us to have a good dialogue here. There's a lot, as I said, I'm going to be imparting with you, and there's a lot I expect to learn from you. But I'm here to let you know that I'm in full support of the efforts of these people to become citizens and recognized as the 17th tribe of this nation. I thank you very much for now.
Thank you very much, Mr. Powell. It's good having you as always, sir. Please do not, if you are not speaking, Mr. Powell, because I cannot control your mic, I will ask you to please mute yourself. It is muted now. Whenever you about to speak, you can unmute. I believe that you're just a handsome man, but my brother Asiva is older than you. You just handsome. So age doesn't matter, sir. It's good having you, Mr. Powell. Okay, Alpha Joy, it's all yours now. Before I get to Dwalu and Mr. Va, I'll give you another 2 minutes to do a clear presentation, and we'll get into the discussion. It's all yours, Alpha Joy.
Thank you very much, Stanton. Again, like I said, our goal and objective is based on 7 pillars and principles. I know I'm reading some in the chat right now in the chat room about the discrimination. I will tell you, I was born on Newport Street, 1959, October 10. I'm a Liberian. I'm a proud Liberian. My father served in the Liberian army. My father opened businesses. When the opportunity came for my father to go to France as an ambassador, he refused. He wanted to serve the Fula people. And I'm honored to say I'm a Liberian. Ava know me. Dwalu know me. Sam Jackson did know me from St. Patrick Elementary School. So the 7 principles, I will talk about the 7 principles very briefly. Number 1, the Fulani want to educate the community of their rights. We want to make sure the responsibility.
While you do that, Mr. Alpha, can you send it to us that want to post them, want to upload them while you read them for folks to see us, please, and you can talk about them.
Check your inbox, check your WhatsApp phone. It's going to be right there in a minute.
Thank you. You can go ahead, sir.
Okay. It's on its way. You got it. Okay, you want to post it up? But I send it to you already in your inbox with some other stuff. I send you also some stuff about Abdul Rahman. But number 1, like I said, we want to educate the Liberian community and everybody or the Fula people of the right and the responsibility as Liberian. Number 2, We want to highlight our potential. Everybody knows Fula people being in business in Liberia for generations. From my father, before my father, we have supported the Liberian government economically and will continue to support the Liberian government economically. The other stuff we talk about in the pipeline that we want to bring to Liberia, but like Denver said, the fear that we face as Fula to go to Liberia is the discrimination, the harassment, and the marginalization. So we want to raise awareness. We want for all the Fula people to know you are a Liberian. Your man Va, your man Pele, your man Loma, your man Kisi, whoever your mother is, you are Liberian. Stand your ground and we'll get your back. You all have to start as well reporting people, recording people, taking people badges that discriminating against you. Number 4, we want to promote our culture. Everybody knows the Fula culture. We are cattle people, we are traders. We move from city to city, we do cattle and stuff like that. But we are very, very kind, we are loyal, we are dedicated, we have empathy, we have passion, and we have compassion. A lot of the Fula people in Liberia already know from the Fula man shop, they go for a lip. You give me bread, you don't give me butter. So, you know, we're not here, I want to retire. So, number 5, we want to affirm our identity. We are not going to run away from our identity. We are not absolutely going to run away from our identity because, number 1, I am Fula. I'm proud to be Fula. I have a Vi mother. Her name was Sister Kadi. Her mother was a Sila, or Garanke, or Jawara. We have related intertwinedly. So, as I say this to you guys, we are ready. We are not going to back down with this fight. I'm going to tell everybody in Liberia willing to work. And I will say, Sangare, please interpret for me. Walu men fiko men walu onamfo. And Sangare will tell you what I mean in Fula. I say, Labrimpo, you please help us so we can help each other. But we are not going to sit down anymore to be afraid to invest in Liberia because we have a lot of big businesses in the pipeline that want to come to Liberia. But we are afraid. So if you put up the stuff I was talking about, Mr. Spoon, Liberia is our motherland. I was born in Liberia. And I will tell you a little bit of myself. My oldest daughter, her mom from Nimba. Are you going to tell you she's not a Liberian? My second daughter, her mom from Lofa. You tell her she's not a Liberian? My son, his mom Pele, he's not a Liberian? So who are these people in Liberia that want to marginalize the Fula every day? You hear Bani, you hear Jaloni, you hear Soni, you hear Barini. You go, oh, bring your pa paper, bring your mom paper, bring your grandparent paper. That's not the law. And we have somebody on the show that's going to talk about the law in the Republic of Liberia. The Constitution of Liberia is very clear. Anybody of Negro descent born on the soil of Liberia, one parent is a Liberian, they are automatically a Liberian. So we want to know our right and Spoon. I will leave it at that. My wife gave me the signal to let me shut up. Thank you very much. And I think
thank you. Please keep her close to you. Please do. Keep her very close to you. Thank you. Donald, let me bring you on. Then we will go to our sister Diallo, the president for the organization. Then we want to ask the why. We want to ask why now. We want to ask why it never happened before. We want to ask what are you asking the government for. We got so many questions. Let me bring in Mr. Duadu. Talk to us, Duadu.
I'm going to take a position first before I state my first question. You know, I actually love to ask my sister, Dianabo, to answer the question that I will ask her. I want to say this. If we are going to develop, we must include all of us, irrespective of where your heritage is. Because I believe one point or another, we all came to this country. We have to embrace us. When I mean us in totality. This hesitation of isolating one of us destroys this country. If we got to develop, I don't care where you come from. If your loyalty is to the Republic, we must embrace you wholeheartedly. I want you guys out there, even though you that this is agree with our brothers, I want you to open your minds a little bit. Just open your mind and understand how every other country develops. But I want to ask you a question, my sister. Let me ask you this. Why do you think Liberians hesitate to fully include the Fulats into Liberia?
I am not entirely sure why that is. I think it's a misrepresentation somewhere along the line in history that has made it like that. misconception, and just a disconnection from, different communities, and just seeing that sometimes that, Fulani is a huge ethnic group throughout West Africa. So obviously we are going to have some Fulanis that come from other countries, but that doesn't mean that all Fulanis are from elsewhere. We can trace Fulani. There's evidence of Fulanis within the Liberian landscape since.
One second, my sister. Dr. Bar, can you mute, please? Can you mute, please? Go ahead.
Yes, so there's evidence of Fulanis within the Liberian landscape before slavery. So, if we take it all the way back in history, we will see that Fulanis were still in Liberia, at that time. We didn't just arrive in Liberia. But yes, there are Fulanis from different West African countries who do live in Liberia. And so we have mixed that, and we do have those misconceptions that exist. However, I think it's time for us to have this discussion and hash it out, and allow Fulanis to be part of Liberia.
Okay.
We hear where we're gonna go. In fact, if you tell me to go back to where I come from, my question back to the Liberian people is, where do you want me to go? What place you want me to go at? Thank you.
Okay, gentlemen, Stephen just had an emergency, so I'm gonna go. My next question will go to Dr. Gary. Dr. Gary, I want to ask you this. Sometime, and I love what my sister Diallo said, we have to hash this out. We have to bring things to the open and discuss them, and try to understand why people think in certain ways. Let me ask you a question. There are some Liberians that will argue that the Fulas are very wicked. They're very selfish. They don't let people love to their daughters. They isolate themselves. They don't see themselves as Liberian. Why do they want to be Liberian? And I want to make this clear before I go forward. Fulas are citizens of Liberia. You can become their citizens. It's not an argument. Anybody who has Negro descent can become citizens. So the issue of citizenship is not in question. The issue of what is in question is how we fully accept them. The question will go back to you, Dr. Gay. Why do you think Liberian consider some Fulas to be selfish? They isolate themselves. They are wicked. We cannot make them a tribe in Liberia because they are going to take over the entire country. How do you counter that? You're muted.
Stereotype has been the issue we face here in Liberia. And this is not just a Liberian thing, it is universal. Every time there's a group that is progressive, a group that may seem to be a little bit isolated, we tend to put a blind on that community. This is not just in Liberia, but let us be specific to the case of the Fulanis. Fulani have a very unique history. It is a community that stick together, just like the Jews. The community that also have a very religious, cultural understanding of life. So that is why the community is always close knitted. Having said that, when you talk about somebody being wicked without evidence, you then become the one who prejudice that particular community without historical facts. And that is so good that Ms. Diallo hit that hard. When did the Fulani come here? We have the records there. So we are not here guessing. We are not here playing a game of what I would call creating a myth around the Fulani presence in Liberia. So once you get to know a community and understand their history, you tend to have to appreciate them. You can't talk about Liberia history without understanding the roots of what Fulani did before our independence. And the good thing is, Dwalo, you from River says. I will ask you, do you know Timber River?
Mm-mm.
I'm sure you've heard of Timber.
No.
Yeah. And that name only exists in Liberia because of the root of the Fulani. traced down to the river Sis. Timbo Town. There's no bastard name for it. It has its trace to the Fulani history. You from River Sis too. So these are the history we need to start telling ourselves, telling our country, and the good thing we have documented that in our work, so that when we tell the overall story of Liberia, it is inclusive. It is not one that is witch hunting, but one that is clear for all of us to benefit. I hope I answered your question.
Thank you, Mr. Tupa. Your two questions, please, sir.
Okay, let me make sure I'm now on mute.
You're good. You're good.
Okay, I'm good. Thank you. Firstly, I want to say Happy Flag Day to all Liberians out there. Thanks to, again, the stand-up for providing this opportunity for us to have these kind of discussions. Welcome to the show to all our guests. And to my brother, Ahmed, I think you should be calm a little bit. Even if there's a fight in your mind, your approach should be a little bit more about how we integrate, how we unite, more so than, you come with a battlefront kind of perspective and posture that kind of will alienate other people, and not look at what the substance of your issue is, and we'll look at just how you present. So I want people, it's clear, for me, where we come from, and Dwalo, you said you're stating your position, but I don't know that you ever stated it. But my position is that every Negro person by birth or in Liberia or by duration of the law and naturalization can be a Liberian citizen. And even for natural born Liberians, there is clearly a law in our immigration that you have a certain time to declare if there's any other citizenship or any other issue with you, to declare to be a Liberian. And most people don't apply that. Unfortunately, somebody on Nigerian that Wabudeke was trying to use that. But my point and my belief, I don't see the word tribe in our constitution. There is nowhere where it says tribe. They talk about ethnic groups, and they talk about ethnic group because of integration and involvement, because they want every ethnic group to be able to have the rights of citizenship in this country, whether it's because of joining an association. You can't be eliminated, you can't be excluded. So all those different areas, we can touch on them as using the constitution for ethnic group. I believe most of the Fulanis I know some of them have come across the border. I was there when some of them came from different places with their cows. Some of them came with their musical equipment, everything. I was there from early times. But many of those I know that we grew up with, that we went to school, they were born right in Liberia. And it's clear about the level of discrimination. So I don't know whether we can legislate discrimination, that we are all accepting of each other to the point where the integration is smooth. I mean, a lot of people complain, to be honest, about, Liberian men will let women business now, okay? So the Lebanese women, the Indian women, the Fula women, the men in that culture deprive a lot of times Liberian men of, interacting and integrating. You easily find a Fula man with a Liberian wife, born in Fula children, than the regular Liberian man with a Fula woman having children. And there are instances of that. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that some Fula women are not saying, look, this is the man I love, that girl man or that Gil man or that man I love him, that the man I want to be with. So we got to look at this thing. I don't know if the issue is about tribe. The issue is about the harassment that the Fula people face. And I don't know if it's because of a tribe. Like he said, there's some people who born there. Yeah, maybe they didn't come in time to declare the citizenship, but they may can bring witnesses. They may can prove that he was born in Liberia. Why will you deny him a passport? Why will you discriminate against him? Why will you not give that allowance to become a citizen and stuff? So It's about looking at our immigration laws and seeing it. I don't know, even if they make Fula people tribe today and some corrupt immigration officer want to discriminate and harass, they can still do it. So there are even some Mandingo people and other people who. So my question to you guys is there a way you can narrow where you want that we as Liberians can collectively make it happen to meet your needs? Because to just institute a tribal group as a law or to get it to revise the constitution may be the most difficult path. But trying to break down those walls of separation, how do you guys see it? What can we do?
You want to answer the question? Who should answer the question?
And I think Dr. Sangari can answer the question if he wants to.
Thank you. So, thank you, Chi Tuba, regarding the conversations. We are having the same conversation regarding Fulani as an ethnic group. Now, many people know that we don't have tribes, but rather we have ethnic groups. And interestingly, when the Fulanis present themselves before anyone, the very first conversation before the person will be business, trades. And these things are affecting the entire Fulani community on grounds that people see them to be from neighboring countries like Guinea, Sierra Leone, and in most instances, Mali, so to say. But there are several factors of which the Fulani seem not to be integrated at the time or are still being faced with. Let's take it from a social conversation, like you rightly said. It's very rare for you to see a Fulani marrying a typical or like one of the tribes, so to be specific. So in most instances, someone say, but the Fulanis are savage. No, they are not savage. It's because of the cultural practice. It's like yesteryears, you will not hear Jalo Barry graduating from Ivy League high schools in Liberia. Nowadays, almost all of the high schools in Liberia, the Fulanis are graduating. They are not just graduating. They are graduating at the top, and to a great extent, they are even serving as presidents or student government. That's a way to have a part of the conversation. Another point again is that most Fulani nowadays, they seem to be discriminated, not because they are foreigners, like we always disagree on the show, but quote unquote because they are attributed to names like Jalo, So, Barry. And if you read the entire Constitution from Article 27 to 28 of the 1986 Constitution, it provides a clear line as to who are citizens or who can become citizens of this country. And all of us as Negro descent fall in a limo category. Take for instance, Mr. Bao will have a passport from an original stage, meaning he has gone to foreign affairs, he obtained his passport. It goes for 5 years regarding the time limit.
Okay,
when he goes back to foreign ministry or somewhere else, they will ask him, how did he obtain his passport? That is discrimination, because the point should be he was given a passport. It means he was able to fulfill all of the requirements. But when he goes there after 5 years, there is a question about how did you obtain this passport?
Thank you, Mohammed.
That's discrimination.
Thank you, Mohammed. We appreciate it, guys. Gentlemen, there's a lot of us on the show. Let's keep the question to the point. And if you want to ask a question, say, listen, Brother Sangari, the question is for you. Let's make that distinction. Mr. Kennedy.
Dwalu, please, 1 second, please. Can you please put me in the back and bring Chelna Jalo on, please?
Yeah, I don't have access to that right now. So, okay. Good day. We'll go ahead and do that. Yeah. So, Brother Kennedy, go ahead, ask your question, make a comment, but just direct the question to an individual.
Yeah, thank you very much. Goody and I will maybe have a little on show for our Flag Day program. I think we got some gift to actually give people who will answer questions about the very issue that is on the podium today for conversation. Do they discriminate against people in Liberia? The answer to that question, from my own experience, yes. My mother is from a Mandingo background, and my father was Loma. Do we have Loma people migrating into Liberia from Guinea? Yes. Do we have Mandingo people migrating into Liberia from Guinea? Yes. Now, do we have Mandingo and Loma as category of the ethnic groups in Liberia? The answer to that question is yes. Do we have Fulanis as a category of the ethnic groups that were originally in the Liberian history before 1847? The answer to that question is no. Nobody on this forum can produce me a Liberian history book that lists as an indigenous membership of the ethnic group the Fulanis. The Fulanis started migrating into Liberia in the early 1900s, around 1820, when the Fulani Empire declined. So at the decline of the Fulani Empire, there were some Fula people who came in Liberia, Sierra Leone, pretty much in Guinea. But this is what happened to the group of Fulanis who came to Liberia. They were merchants and they were never integrated into our country's culture. Like somebody just said, they never got married to Liberian ethnic group. They came in settlement of few Fulanis, but then they were moving around the Cote d'Ivoire, the Sierra Leone, the Guinea. They were not situated and permanent. So it became difficult for the ethnic group Fulani to be incorporated as one of the 16 ethnic groups that were listed by the historians under the Liberian ethnicity in the history. Just like somebody said, I think it's Ava, there's nothing about tribes in our constitution. Our constitution speaks of ethnic groups. Now, I don't know of any Fula man who was born in Liberia who has gone to get passport and has been discriminated upon. I got a bunch of Fula friends in Liberia who are doing very good businesses and they got a lot of money and they are moving things around, right? But
we still got any question yes, in the work.
We still got immigrations, some people who need to be enlightened, right? To be educated about how you carry out questions. So my question to Mr. Barry and Mr. Barr, but he left. So let me ask my sister Diallo. My question to her is, what is their advocacy? What is this team on this platform advocating? Are they advocating that Fulas or Fulani be a specific tribe on a segment of an ethnic group category, or are they stating that the Fulanis are stopped from becoming Liberian citizens? I really need to get that clarification before moving forward.
Paul Kennedy, I will fit that question to Mr. Alhaji Sangare. Sangare, can you take
okay, yes, Mr. Sangare, please.
Okay, I'm coming before the chief comes on. Mr. Ba, do you still want the individual you talk about to come on? Then I have to, you are muted. Then I have to.
Yeah, he wants you to put him in the back and bring the individual
out.
Yeah, take him and put Channel in there. Listen on. Channel Diallo from Boston.
Yeah. All right, that's good. Bye.
So go ahead, Mr. Sangare. Well, who's in the studio, Mr. Sangare? We cannot hear him. Whoever's in the studio, please make him audible.
Go ahead. I was not getting the question, please. The volume is very low here.
Can you summarize the question again, Mr. Kennedy, please?
I just wanted to know what is the team trying to advocate for? Do they want Fulanis to be a particular specific tribal group in Liberia, established as a tribal? And I'm saying established because Fulani is not a part of the ethnic groups that are registered and established on our history. So is this team asking that the Liberian government establish Fulani as an ethnic group under the constitution? I mean, under the ethnicity? Is that what they're asking?
Mr. Sangare.
Thank you, Mr. Kennedy. We are already an ethnic group in Liberia. We are not fighting to be an ethnic group. We are already an ethnic group. We are asking the Liberian government to stop the intimidation, the harassment of our people, the discrimination. Your father or your grandfather can be a naturalized citizen. You will be a born Liberian. When you go for your passport or let's say your national ID card, they will ask you to bring your father documents. When you bring the documents, the next question they will ask you is how your father managed to get it. When you go bring your grandfather documents, they will ask you how your grandfather managed to get it. Apart of that, as I speak to you, at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs right now, we have over 750 Fulani passport that is seized by the Passport Division of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs illegally. Our children are going to school. They are brilliant in school, but here stay. They will never be awarded a scholarship. They will never be an employee of the civil servant of Liberia because they are Jallo, they are Ba, they are so, and what have you. Whenever you see a Fula man, he's not hard to know. When you travel from here to Ganta or from here to Bowarasa, when you are sitting in a car, they will come and say, may I know you? When you give your national identity card, they will ask you, calm down, how you managed to get your identity. It's complete harassment, is unacceptable. This is why we are fighting for. We are tired of being marginalized, discriminated by the Liberian security, especially the immigration service, the people of the National ID Card Service, and the Passport Division, the birth certificate. You will go with your son or daughter to obtain a birth certificate with all your credentials correct. They will still tell you, no, you have to go here and there, make you to run around for 2-3 months before you obtain a passport, a birth certificate, sorry.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Kennedy, your second question to the point.
So, Dwalu, just to add up to.
Just 1 second. I know you want to add to that, but let's just keep this in loop so we can keep it going. As soon as we get to the point quickly, it will serve everybody. Mr. Kennedy, who else, and what's the next question, sir?
Well, Mr. Sangari, right? Is that your name, sir? Am I
Yes,
pronouncing the name right? Okay,
Yes,
thank you. Did I hear you say categorically Fulanis were an established group of established ethnic group in Liberia? Did I hear you say that?
Come back again. This place is very low.
Did I hear you say, please correct me if I'm wrong, did you say that you are not fighting to become a part of the ethnic group, but you are fighting to enlighten people to stop segregation and discrimination against you? Is that your fight? You're not fighting to become an ethnic group, but you are fighting so that nobody can discriminate against you. Is that correct?
I was not getting you, Mr. Kennedy, clearly.
Are you getting me? Am I loud and clear?
You're clear, but your headphones sometimes it's too close now. But repeat your question again. Maybe the headphone will help this time around.
Okay, Mr. Sangari, can you hear me now? Am I loud
Yes,
now?
I'm hearing you.
Good. So if I heard you right, did you say that your fight is not about being established as an ethnic group, but your fight is to ensure the Liberian government makes it easier that no one discriminate against the Fula group? Was that your statement?
Mr. Kennedy, I said again, and I will repeat myself. Fulanis are an ethnic group in Liberia already. We are here already. We are established. Our children, our grandchildren, our great-grandparents immigrated Liberia years back. We are an ethnic group of Liberia. Whether we are added to the history or not, we are here, we existed.
Okay. Well, just 1 minute. Thank you. You did. Just 1 minute before I rest. There are several groups of people that are considered in Liberia, and Fulanis have become accepted as a group of people in Liberia. And if I heard somebody say they don't get scholarship, I don't want to believe that's true. If we look on the education ministry registry now, they are Fula students. I went to school with Fula students who got scholarship over me. And so scholarship is not based on ethnicity and tribe. It's about academic performance. If the Fula children do well, they should be awarded the scholarship. If they were born in Liberia and grew up there, they are Liberians. If they went and declare on our constitution that they want to be Liberians. But because originally that ethnic group was not registered historically, some immigration officers have the tendency to want to ask, because just like so-sos, just like people from Blame Beach, from Cameroon, when you call yourself a Burkina in Liberia, somebody wants to know how your father get there. But they got Burkina bees who live in Liberia, who are born in Liberia, who got paper in Liberia. So I think that we just need to do a lot of public awareness and public education of what the Liberian citizenship is and how do you obtain it.
Thank you so much.
I don't think it should be a holistic thing.
Thank you,
I think
Mr.
it's
Kennedy.
individual.
And I want to make some point before I go to my brother Fadiga. Good day. I know you'll just be talking along. Hopefully we get some time. We chime you in here. I want us to understand this though. Just because you are not part of the original 16 tribes of Liberia doesn't mean there cannot be different groupings in the country. We have to make that isolation a decision. I mean, understand that, just because, let's assume I come from Egypt and I settle in Liberia and I'm of Negro descent. I'm a different group. And another thing, you don't have to come from a specific county, or you don't have to claim a county. I believe personally, where I'm born, that's my county. I don't have to be the local indigenous group to that county. It's the same thing all around the world. Fadiga, there are two questions, sir. And we try to get straight to the point. Make sure you call who you're going to ask the question to so we can have some order.
So, Fadiga, before you come in, the guest, we have reached the limit. So if you want the two guys in the back, Diallo and Mr. Ba, to come on, one person will have to take the back seat. When he's done, I'll bring the person on.
Mr. Powell said you will go for now, and then Fadiga, you have two questions, and who are you going to ask that question to?
I've listened to the story. I think the last time we had a conversation, it didn't go too well. A lot of the young kids, they were doing some crazy stuff. But I understand when I listen to Mr. Sangare right now, my heart sinks because I have been a victim of what he's just told you about. A lot of people in this country are oblivious to what he was talking about. They don't know that it exists. It's like two different worlds. But to be a black person in this country and people look at you, especially you live here all your life, and someone tell you you're not part of us, it's hurtful, especially if this is the only country you know. I've been a victim of that. As popular some people may think I am, I have been a victim of that, and I've shared that story. Several permanent Liberians have been a victim of this thing, and I think we need to educate our law enforcement. We need to strengthen the laws to make sure that it doesn't happen, because based on the way I see it, I hope we have this. This will not just be the first time we have this conversation, because this is a very delicate subject. And for a very tribal country like ours in Africa as a whole, you have to be very careful how you go about it. So I totally understand it. My only thing here is I'm still trying to wrap my head around what specifically we want. I know you said some things, because to be frank, you are right when you said that you are an ethnic group. The Fulani fit the definition of ethnic group. The difference between the ethnic groups is the ethnic, the different culture, it's a bigger group, and then the tribe is more narrow to that. So they do have, they are an ethnic group. My only thing here is two simple questions, but I want to understand exactly. I want you guys to be specific, pinpoint to exactly whether it's the tribal status or it's the citizen status. Because if it's the citizen status, honestly, it's clear. That's not even a question. That's not even an argument. The discrimination status, there are ways that we can get around that. That one, we need to. I would be the first person on that list to join this fight. So we need to be specific, because so this leads to my first question. Do you know the number of Fulanis in Liberia? How many Fulanis do we currently have? And there's a good reason why I asked that question. So that would be my first question.
Mr. Sagari, I think you're the president of the Fulani in Liberia. You might want to answer that question.
So, see, we'll answer that question. Okay. So the point is very important. Like Sangare, our dad said, our argument yesterday, our argument today, and our argument tomorrow will be about the discrimination. It's not about citizenship, because
not many people know that we have elevated a conversation from tribal conversation to an ethnic conversation. So it's not about citizenship. It's about the rampant discrimination that we have been faced with as Fulanis in this country. Because it's very interesting that during elections time, the very simple way they discriminate against you after elections, where they see people during elections time that were considered to be citizens. So how can you tell us that we are not citizens when in fact we have had so many candidates contesting in our elections? Because foreigners don't contest in elections. They are not allowed or required by the law. So it's an argument that we need not to focus on. Someone will say it's not an important argument. And like someone said, what do we hope to achieve? And I like the point you raised, Hussein. You see, there's a story about that called Reverend Winkle. He's a German Dutch villager. When the revolution in America was unfolding, he was sleeping. He left his family home. When he returned home, his family could not recognize him. I think to a great extent, with this generation of Fulani, sanctioned by our elders, we will continue to make the awareness. And when people keep making the awareness from a historical perspective, from an educational perspective, people will get to realize that we are citizens of this country. And I think to a great extent, we ourselves too need to move the ball, because when you fold your hands, like someone will say in America, Dr. King, you will not be given the rights. We will demand our rights in a very organized and respectful manner. So it's just a way that we want to make that we too are part of this republic. On this note, based on the time, but maybe to work out and the next person will come in studio, which I can end the show.
Didn't I the number? I wanted the
okay,
number.
Good. You see, this is the argument we are raising, Fadiga. To know the number of ethnic group in a particular quantity, this is where religion needs to come out. This is the essence of the census accuracy, because Mohammed will not outrightly tell you say we have 5% of the population constituting Fulani. This is where now religions must be able to say, look, from the entire census conducted, X number of group is in such category in a quantity. And that will help us. And that's a very good question. And this is why we are raising this argument in order to put our legislators now should come out and say, look, from the census conducted, let's say the last census or 2008 census, X amount of group fall in this category. X amount of group fall in this category. Until that, there will be a problem regarding this kind of conference, because these things also help the economic. From an economic perspective, someone said to you, the dominant people in the economy are the Indians, they are the Lebanese, and also the Fulanis. But what percentage do they contribute to the economy? That's where the issue of GDP, GMP comes in. Real GDP, these are economic conversations. But legislators now need to play a role as part of our recommendation. We call legislators now to be able to provide the data so as to be able to make a real analysis in regards to quantity.
Thank you. Dwalu, let me ask, can I ask Mohammed about the leave?
Mr. Kennedy, let's keep in order. Fadika, your next question, so we can go in order.
Before I even ask that question, I want the community to also do that statistics. It will make the case stronger. You know what I mean? It's easy to identify. The thing I like about the Fulani and most close-knit communities here, it's easy to get those statistics.
Look at India.
Yeah, it makes the case stronger. But the thing is honestly, the first time we had this conversation, I think there was a lot of misunderstanding. I would like to come around to actually know more. But actually, if you're looking for one person on your side, I'm on that side right now. I think this conversation needs to be elevated. I think we need to have more of this conversation, because it's not only the Fulanis that are going through this. Everybody name is not Tama or Fuma or Koli gets discriminated for. You'll be surprised to know how many people that go through this. People don't know it until you go. I didn't know that my name meant something, or it was different through all my life in this country until when I went to get my first passport. And I'm like, oh. And then when you go in the rural area and someone stop you and they have to give you extra scrutiny because Fadiga. And then they associate every name with every country. And the war came. Librarians travel all over. There will be librarians.
Your second question, sir. The second question.
No, I'm not asking question. I'm not going to ask any question. I think or everything now will be this. Yeah. I was
Dwalu, if I may.
Yeah,
I can enlighten Fadiga a little bit.
Okay.
When Edward Dunn the Constitution Commission in the Republic of Liberia during the Amos Sawyer's time in the transition. He documented there were about 100,000 to 200,000 Fulani in Liberia. So I will let Mr. Cherno Jallo elaborate on that a little bit more. Cherno, the floor is yours, sir.
All right. Again, thank you so much for affording me the opportunity, and have been in the background for like the several, maybe 30 minutes or more. And this is indeed an honor for me to share this panel with you guys. And first of all, just a quick intro. My name is Chandra Diallo, currently based in the US, and I'm a recent graduate from Harvard with a master's in policy. And prior to that, I did my high schooling in Liberia, where I graduated and subsequently moved to South Africa. At the African Leadership Academy, to be precise. After that, I also did my undergrad at the University of Rochester. Quickly on that, now I think I must first of all appreciate all of the panelists for the beautiful questions, the openness to the conversation. I also want to invite the audience to engage with us with an open mind. This is about education. This is about cross-pollination of different ideas, right? So before I go on to answering some of those concerns that we are raised, I also want to highlight a fact. We as a community, we are here with a single objective: to educate and to inform the general public about the presence of Fulanis in Liberia, their historical contribution, and their ongoing project. So as to make a case that Liberia as a country and a society tend to benefit more when we are open-minded, when we are accepting of others, and when we agree to work with each other as Liberians, regardless of your tribe, and regardless of the historical period from which your tribe was officially, or quote-unquote, by government, recognized as an ethnic group. We have had a lot of minority groups in Liberia. In the 80s, 90s, there were particular groups that were targeted. Thankfully, at this point, some of these marginalized groups tend to enjoy more freedom. Currently, Fulanis are targeted. I have been a victim. Most of my Fulani friends, one way or the other, my non-Fulani friends, especially from the Muslim background, sometimes they associate you with, like, simply because of your name. But to the point I want to make here, and I want to really appeal to our host, this is about education. I want to appeal to you. We came here prepared. However, I feel like we are not given the opportunity to tell you our story. We started the show by asking us questions, not by giving you at least 5 to 10 minutes, 15 minutes, elaborate on the purpose and objective for which you are here. We have a PowerPoint presentation. We have a 3-minute video, historical video. We have historian and academic economist in studio. But if you are not giving them the opportunity to share their thought, to elaborate on all of this research, we have dossiers of research to present. But if you just bombard us with all of these questions before our presentation, I don't think it's fair for the audience. I don't think it's fair for us who took our time to be here. I don't also think it's fair for the panelists, because we are here to learn from each other. We are here to expand the debate, elevate it to some extent, beyond this stereotypical perception of Fulani, beyond this stereotypical of Liberians thinking there is an absolute number of Liberian ethnic group that cannot be expanded. I should tell you this, as a social science student, societies evolve across time. Languages change, religions change, ethnic groups change. Every aspect of society, as time goes on, we as a society, we should acknowledge that. So therefore, I'm appealing to the audience and to the Spoon host and network to allow us, give us at least 20 minutes, 30 minutes to elaborate on the presentation we have. After our presentation, you can ask any question, you can open the line. The audience,
Mr. Diallo,
do not give us time to elaborate on our presentation. For which we are here. I think it's a disservice to us, and it's a disservice to the audience, for which we are here to educate and enlighten, or at least give a different perspective of who we are and what we are about to do.
Mr. Diallo, thank you very much. And I understand where you're coming from. You don't have to repeat it a dozen times for us to get this. Mr. Ba was giving ample opportunity to present his case. Now, I'm going to ask you, Good Flobo, do they have the video in queue that we can actually play for the audience? I understand, but you got to also understand we have a lot of people that did come. If we had 2 or 3 people to make your case who were trying to kind of boil everything into one field. But you have to understand, the time is 2 hours. 2 hours. So if you have that video, Mr. Gude, was the video uploaded? Stanton had an emergency. He had to leave, and this is the reason why we went through this. But if we do have the 3-minute video or 4-minute video, we can actually play that video. And for me, I want to understand the cultural perspective, the historical perspective of the Fulas in Liberia. That's something we should understand. And that's why we're here today.
Exactly.
So,
I'm coming. Mr. Diallo, 1 minute. If you want us to upload your video, you have to download it from YouTube. We don't have time for YouTube videos. So what you do, download the video and send it to us. We will upload it. The video, the 2 minutes or 3 minutes video you're talking about is on YouTube. So you have to download it. I'm sorry.
All right, thank you for that clarity. I really appreciate the open-mindedness to approach to this, and the fact that you are willing to work with us to educate our fellow Liberians, our Fula community, the Muslim community, and the Liberian public at large. All right, these are discussions that should influence policy going forward. But if you do not give us that opportunity, we have a presentation that we share with the management. There is a mini PowerPoint, I think about 3 to 4 slides. Very interesting and informative point that we want to raise, but allow us to present this at least 20 to 15 minutes.
So,
Thank
I'm coming 1 minute, right? You have the PowerPoint with you. I think it's about 6 slides. You have the PowerPoint with you. I saw you creating another studio. Create that studio. I'm going to drop one person, or I'll go in the back and you will do the presentation. Simple.
Okay.
All right.
So, you do have the presentation?
I do
have the presentation, but he has it as well, and he created the studio already, so he can do the presentation from his end.
Okay, because the audience will want to see that, and I'm going to advise you, my brother Diallo, if you are going to do the presentation, you got to understand the show has to go on. You have to miniaturize it. You got to cut it to a point where you don't have to be long-winded about it, because the time would not allow this. And I understand we can do this another time again, where you guys come back on and we continue this process. Everything cannot be covered in one slide. I just want you to know that. So go ahead.
All right, allow me to see if I can continue on that. Okay, it should be ready.
So let me drop Mr. Kaluminus, or I'm sorry, from the studio. I'm going to drop you. After the presentation, I will bring you on.
But you can still watch while you're dropped, so you're still in. Okay.
Can you guys see my screen?
It's coming up.
That's the screen.
Screen now. Yes.
Oh no. All right, just a second. Can you see the screen now?
Yeah, we can see the screen. And you can even stream in the video through the screen sharing. It will be great too if you can do that. But go ahead with the presentation, Mr. Diallo.
All right, thank you. Allow this to load quickly.
The presentation dropped again. You have to bring it on.
Okay, a second, I'm on that.
So bear with
you have the time to do the presentation and the video.
I want the audience to know. Okay, go ahead, Mr. Diallo. Well, I'll just tell you, trying to figure out. If it's not originally fed into the spoon feed, it takes a while to upload into the system. So just be aware of that. It takes a few seconds, if not a couple of minutes, to make sure they're uploaded. And go ahead, Mr. Diallo. We are waiting for you to share your screen again.
All right, just right on that.
Okay.
And also, too, when you're done, if it doesn't upload, it can be shared to the Spoon Network. People can go back and take a look at it. There you go.
Can you see it now?
Yes, we can see it.
Yes, it's okay.
You can see the presentation, right?
Yeah, we see the presentation.
All right. Again, I'm so appreciative. I am so appreciative of this opportunity, because this was the initial proposal. We worked with the management to ensure that this works in the way that we all planned and agreed. Now, the point is about the presenting. I would be as brief as possible, And after that, maybe we can invite we have a permanent panelist that will be able to answer all of your questions. Now, the biggest question that we've had, even when we were planning this, is about who we are, what this campaign is about. Because we wanted to clarify this so that journalists, influencers, and concerned Liberians understand what we are all about. The campaign is about educating Liberians about our history, who we are, what have been our contribution. We're seeking to raise awareness, all right? This is an awareness project. It's not about anything else outside of that. We also seek to highlight the potential of Fulani, what the Liberian people as a collective society can benefit by expanding our sense of identity, our sense of personhood in Liberia, to accept people that have historically lived in Liberia for centuries. And the next point is about promoting the culture. Mr. Ba alluded to that. And one of the main things we really hope that our fellow Liberians understand is that for us as Fulani, constitutionally, historically, we believe, and there are verifiable reasons to believe that we have been in Liberia well before 1847 and after 1847. Of late, in the past half a century, we have begun playing a much more active and meaningful role as Liberians. All right. Now, the next part is about inclusion. Our people are contributing economically, socially, educationally. I'll give you one citation, right? One reference to Dr. Ba from the University of Liberia. He was one-time chairman of the history department. He has been a professor at the University of Liberia for over 30 years. He passed away quite recently. May his soul rest in peace. These have been different contributions of Fulani to the educational development of the country, the social and economic cohesion of our nation. And we also want to highlight the benefit, all right, for people such as the Liberian society to understand that we do not pose any threat as a community. We are partners in progress. We are partners in development. We just want to be listened to. We want to be heard. We want our plight and problems to be listened to as a community. And moving quickly, what we want to also emphasize is that things that we want, because I heard Brother Fadiga asking about what do you guys want? Different people within the Liberian sector asking, now that you're here, what do you want? We simply asking for an end to the harassment and discrimination. This is one of our first appeal to the Liberian government and the Liberian society, with who has continuously, historically, harassing and discriminating against us. Also, we want for our businesses, and also the infrastructure that we have in various cities, from Monserrado to Harper. We want these businesses, since they are there to support the economy, the Liberian people, and our individual families. We want these businesses to be protected. There have been massive instances where Liberian businessmen and businesses have been tempered by public mob and all of that. So we also request and demand for equal treatment as citizens. We do not want to be seen as second-class citizens. Neither do we want to be considered as foreigners. We are not foreigners in our own country. I as a Liberian in the diaspora, whichever community I go in the diaspora, I identify as Liberian. They accept me here as more Liberian than my fellow Liberians in Liberia. This is an unfortunate situation. We need to correct historical misrepresentation. For example, the Ministry of Education recently updated the National Civic Education booklet, right? It's a report. I don't know how many of you have read it. They went and listed all of the 16 or what number of ethnic groups. Quite unfortunately, you do not have Fulanis listed. And we are having our children, our young generation in various schools learning that everybody is Liberian except Fulani. We believe these are some forms of discrimination that the government and the Liberian society need to give up listening ear to. And quickly to the last point, what does the Fula community want? We want everybody to accurately identify, oh, we are Muslim, we are Liberians, we are Fulani. Do not misconfuse us with another different ethnic group that we are not. We want to be respected as who we are. And the stereotype, dignified treatment. Our sisters, our mothers, and our parents get harassed at various checkpoints in various cities, including in Monrovia. We do not want to tolerate that anymore as a young generation. And we also want to focus on addressing these injustices by engaging our elected leaders, our community leaders, and the Liberian population at large. And second to the last point is about what we do not want. This campaign is not about claiming a county, claiming somebody's community. We are individual, hardworking people. We will rather work for what we want. We do not want any handout. We do not want any extra treatment from government. Treat us the same way you treat any ordinary Liberians. We are not about forming a political party. This campaign is not aligned with any politicians and established political institution. We are independent, Liberian-based, grassroots organizing individuals. We have non-Fulanis, we have Fulanis, all under the same umbrella advocating for minority groups in Liberia. And the next point I wanted to highlight, this is not about Fulanis that are from Guinea. This is not about Fulani from Sierra Leone or elsewhere. We are advocating for Liberian Fulanis who have been here historically, who are recent generation perhaps, or who have been there for decades. These are the Liberian Fulani we are advocating for. We wanted to make sure the media and the general public understand that. And we are not against any ethnic group. We are known to be one of the most peaceful ethnic group in Liberia historically. If you verify history during the Civil War, you would see our role that we play. Recently, when the country was held down by COVID and Ebola, you check the resources and history online, you see how impactful has this community been, all right? So these are just the few points we wanted to highlight in order to afford the audience and that of the panelists here to understand what we want, why we are here, and why we should be recognized and listened to. Thank you very much for this flexibility, Brother Dualu. And good day. I really appreciate you for giving us this opportunity. We have several individuals in the back. I believe if you can bring them back, then we will be open to conversation. We are here to answer all of your questions and concerns. And,
so before you go, the 2 minutes video, can you please play it from the same way you did a screen sharing?
If it is possible, Mr. Diallo, to play the 2-minute video, if it's all
just
possible.
Go to YouTube and something you will play.
Yeah, if it is not, then it's only because
I can play that right now. I have it ready.
The PowerPoint
Say he has it ready.
Oh,
I have it ready.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Why are you uploading
that? It's loading right now. Can you see it?
Not yet. Share the screen again. Audience, so you guys in the audience, we appreciate your interaction. Whether you disagree or you agree, this is why we come here to put forth these ideas and we try to find solution. I don't care how vocal your disagreement is, we still welcome them. But the only thing we ask of you, open your minds. That's it. Open your minds. You don't have to agree with anybody. You don't have to agree with anything. But open your mind, put yourself in somebody else's shoe if they're in a position that they're being discriminated against or any kind.
All right, quickly, a quick hint, if you allow me, just a 30-second introduction to the video. This is a video about a Fulani prince who was captured during the days of slavery, and after years of struggle, he was opportune to gain his freedom and sent back to Liberia. It's a story about this individual who returned to Liberia before 1847, before the establishment of Liberia as a modern political entity. So please be open-minded. Let's listen to the video. After that, we'll have the discussion. If you have any point, we'll be here to answer them. Thank you.
So we got no sound yet.
Are we getting audio?
We're not getting audio, buddy.
But there's no audio.
All right, let me see what I can do about that. Okay, let me try one more.
All right.
Well, I think what we'll do is we will just put that video on the Spoon Network because we're not getting any audio. And Gude, I believe most of us have asked questions. For me personally, I would love to open the line, let Mr. Kennedy have something to say, and you guys can tell. Let's open the line. Let's hear from the people. What are their feelings towards this? What disagreements they do have? The only thing we ask you guys to be respectful. I know my brother Kanga had not spoken, so I'm going to give him a minute or so to say something if he wants to say something before we go ahead to the phone line. Mr. Kanga. Say something. Yeah, we can hear you.
You hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Go ahead.
Okay. This is Calumnius Michelle Kanga. I'm a son of Grand Bassa County, and I went to school along with some Fulanis in Grand Bassa, and currently I live in Monrovia. But I came in studio purposely to give some historicity of Fulanis. When they came to Liberia, even their impact in Grand Bassa County, and when did they end up Grand Bassa? Like after the Battle of Kirina in the Malian Empire, the Fulanis were among the very first group of people to enter Liberia along with the VAR. But you see, most of the time when Muslims gather, even up to now, when you gather social Muslim in our country, and an ordinary Pere man or Bassa man sees that person, the general perception would be Mandingo. Oh, what the Mandingo people doing here? But historically, the VAR and the Fulanis were the first to come here, establishing township Boche in present-day Bomi County, establishing the Timbo in Riverses County that was once part of Grand Bassa. Then when you go Grand Cola, you will see a herbal drinks, an empty bottle of a herbal drink in Grand Bassa County that the Fulani used to sell in Liberia. The Bassa book referred to as Fula Bukba. The word Fula Bukba in Bassa means the Fula man legs. That drink entered Liberia 1839. And up to 1850 in Grand Cola, near King Bosa Gaga grave, you will still see the bottle still existing. And our grandparents who has steel mill, you will see them use it for measurement glass or measurement bottle. It's a half a snap. So present day people who can consume alcohol, those days the tail administration was very common around here. The Fula Bukba bottle. You can still see it in Grand Bassa. But then the expansion of Islam in Liberia were the Fulanis. In the year 1822, one Alachi Mohammed Senusi, here from the Gambia, went in Nigeria and came to Liberia. Up to now, when you go to some historical sources in Liberia, they refer to that man as a Mandingo man. But he's not a Mandingo man. Alachi Mohammed Senusi is a popular cultural Fulani name in Gambia, Nigeria, and Liberia, establishing the first Islamic school in Liberia in 1822. And the VAR learned the Arabic and the Quran from the Fulanis in Timbo, in Boko, in Cotton Tree, as well as in the Boche, Bomi County. They were also now you go Bomi County, you see a lot of mosques, you see a lot of Fulani settlement, the Boche area in present the Bomi County. But because many Liberians not being aware of the situation when the freelancer came to identify tribes that were in Liberia before the Declaration of Independence, the Fulani were not catch up. And when you read our member streams of independence, our member streams of independence says all tribal group, Anglo group that were in Liberia before the Declaration of Independence are considered citizens. So it means that our history was now picking up some people that were here before the Declaration of Independence. So we are not saying Fulani that came to settle in Liberia in the 60s. We are discussing historic Fulanis that entered Liberia along with the VAR. So as a researcher, Calumnius Michelle Kanga, I have done extensive research and I realized that the Fulanis, early Fulanis started arriving here in Liberia, even in the 1850 rather, because the herbal drinking in 1839. The first Islamic school was built in 1822 by Alachi Mohammed Senesi. Then when you follow the trend of even the Fulani herbal drink to develop further in 1850 in Grand Bassa, you get to know that they were part of the member streams of independence. So it means historians, either out of selfish reason or reason best known to themselves, didn't catch on the Fulanis. Like one of our senior brother on the previous discussion said Fulani were not original tribe in Liberia or the ethnic group. I beg to differ, because when you follow your history, the VAR and the Fulani came together, and the VAR people learn the Quran and the Arabic from the Fulanis. Let me give you some more historicity of Islam in Africa.
Yeah, Mr. Kanga, wrap it up. Another 30 seconds,
the 7 BC.
Then the Fulani were the first group of African to receive Islam in the 8th century, rather. 7th century, Islam into Africa. In the 8th century, Fulani received it. And the Fulani first settled in after the collapse of the Malian Empire. They settled in the Sahel region, SAHEL region of West Africa. And they came somewhat to Liberia to exploit Islamic teaching and business. So they were the first Muslim and more African.
Mr.
Are you getting me?
Yeah, but listen now.
Mr. Kanga is okay now.
Listen, 30 seconds, 30 more seconds. We just want to give a little bit of time. 30 more seconds. We cannot cover everything, please. 30 more seconds, because we really want to hear from the Liberian people. So go ahead, 30 more seconds.
All right, within 30 seconds. So Islam to be spread in Liberia were from the Fulanis. The Va, the Mandingo, and the others related group and the many the learn the Quran and the Arabic from the Fulanis. How can these people not catch up in the early tribe recognition? So either we reread our history, we correct the wrongs that the Fulani were here before the Declaration of Independence. Let us give them the tribal recognition that they deserve, including the Sabo, the Bui, the other tribe that are here, even the Jedebo people in Grand Crew County. The Jedebo are slightly different from Gobo, but because the freelancer refused to recognize them, they put them on a Gobo. The Sabo are different from Crew, but because the freelancer didn't recognize them, they put them on a Crew in Sano. So the same way the Fulanis were now given due recognition because they were following on Islamic expansion, business, and they were moving nomadically from county to county, spreading their merchant. So a lot of recognition were not given to them. So we need to correct the history.
Thank you. And good, before you start taking the call, we have to see these guys. The summation of one second, good. The summation of what's discussed here tonight, guys. Callers, I want you to listen to me. I don't think anybody is asking for something here that's extraordinary. They're only asking not to be discriminated against. This is the foundational thing. It's not about county. It's not about extra treatment. It's not about anything else. Something that every single human being will want, not to be discriminated against. Now, you can have your disagreement, which is entirely valid. I don't have an argument against it. But understand the underlying factor here is treat me like a typical Liberian that you would treat any other person. And this is it. Good day. If you guys can take some calls.
Point of information, Dwalo.
Yeah.
Before we go to the line.
Let Mr. Kennedy, Mr. Kennedy come in 20 seconds.
Thank you very much. And to Mr. Kanga, thank you so much for the overview. And I like that you imply that the registrant of the original indigenous ethnic group may have overlooked or may have not enumerated Fulani as an ethnic group that were present in Liberia. And I agree with you. They started coming around the 1820 to 1839, but they were merchants and they were not stable. So if we make the same argument for the Fantis, there are Fantis in Liberia. We'll make the same argument for other ethnic groups that have come. Now, like Dwalu said, no one should be discriminated against in any country. I am a beneficiary of the United States. You know, I should not be discriminated on against here. But the conversation we are having, I think, is more an educational conversation that has to be escalated at the legislature level. The legislature needs to make sure that the Fulanis have become an ethnic group based on meeting several criteria. It's not only about contribution, it's also about a set scope of criteria that the country has. So we need to establish that, and then we can do some more advocacy and publicity to the legislature. But until that is done, the Fulanis are still considered a part of, I'm not talking about those who are born there and they grew up there, you know, but I don't want one Fulani man to just come from Mali and say because they are Fulani here, so it's a part of Liberia. I don't want somebody coming from Senegal to come say, you have to go to the path of citizenship like every other person who is not an original national. The Fulani people who are not born in Liberia should go to the citizenship path to become Liberian. It is not a blanket thing that can just be given to any group. I want you to understand that, and that's the information I wanted to give today. Thank you.
Quickly, in that beautiful conclusion from brother, what's his name? I cannot see the names display on the screen. But here's my response.
Paul. That's it, Paul.
Paul Kennedy, you raised a salient point, and I appreciate the fact that you could highlight the nuances, right? So we do agree that there are pellets from Guinea, there are kisses from Sierra Leone. The same strategy and policy orientation the Liberian government is using to identify Gizi from Sierra Leone to that of Gizi from Liberia. We want to be under that same scrutiny. We do not want extra preference or special treatment. What we are arguing for is for us that have historically been in Liberia, there is no reason that I should go get my passport 10 years ago when I go back tomorrow to renew it. Somebody who does not understand even his basic right to question me simply on the basis of my physical appearance or my name. I think this is what we are saying. We are not advocating for every Fulani from anywhere, any part of the world. We are saying simply in clear terms that those of us that are Liberians, constitutionally we are Liberian, because if I should give you in 30 seconds a quick reference, Article 27 says, A, all persons who under the coming into force of this constitution were lawfully citizens of Liberia and continue to be citizens. In 1960, our governorship were formally organized, recognized by the Internal Ministry of the Republic of Liberia and the government. This constitution was put into vote and referendum and adopted in 1986. Therefore, this constitution is saying, for the fact that we have had a governorship, we have been lawful citizens of Liberia prior to the adoption of this constitution. We should therefore be citizens. So the question is not about are we citizens or not. That's not the question. We are saying we are citizens. Those of us that historically from Liberia, we are citizens. Therefore, the Liberian society, the government need to update what the educational policy that allows Fulani to be part of the civic education plan. If you look at the 2008 national consensus, right? Brother Fadiga asked a question, how many are you? But on that consensus, if you are an individual filling that consensus to get recorded in Liberia, they have Pele, they have Vai, they have all of the other ethnic group. For me as a Fulani, if I'm feeling that I have to select other, by virtue of that, you are alienating me. You are erasing my history in terms of political number. We don't know how many Fulanis in Nigeria. The government cannot even give you account of that. And we pay taxes. We are citizens. The government should be able to account how many we are, in as much as they can account how many are there, like Baso and other ethnic group, Pele and Kizis, right? So this is an appeal to our government. Open up the system, allow the Fulani to keep and maintain their historical presence in Liberia. Do not discriminate, do not alienate. This is a recipe for a different result, which we are not advocating for. Give us opportunity and listen to us. It's simple as that. We don't want extra treatment.
Thank you, Mr. Diallo. My brother Flaman, go ahead. Let's take some calls. Let's hear the heart of the country, how they feel about this. Listen, guys, let's be respectful. Let's understand we must maintain decorum. Have your disagreement, it's a fair point, but let's talk about the issue. It's better for us than to fight about the issues. Mr. Chokun Flaman.
So welcome. If you are just joining us, you're listening to Spawn Talk, August 24, 2024, here live from the nation's capital, Monrovia. You can join us now. Call us on 0555 101075 and also 0777 1075. Let's hear this person. Good evening and welcome to the show.
Good evening.
Welcome to the show. Let's hear you. Your name and where are you calling us from?
So I'm Darius Power, and I call from Bushel Island, Monrovia.
Quickly, go ahead, Darius.
Okay. So I listened to your guests on the show, and they are making some, interesting advocacy for, like, most of the panelists are saying, you can become a citizen of Liberia, okay? For a foreign background, if your father, for instance, was and you were born in Liberia, upon reaching the age of 18, okay, you can decide whether you want to, carry your father's citizenship or you want to become a Liberian citizen, and then you can go through the process, okay, to become a citizen by
a naturalization. But if you say you are a citizen and then the story.
So let me go down to this point. 30 seconds, okay?
Our,
Quickly.
ethnic, in enumeration, I think we have some problem with that. And I just the last speaker talking about,
Okay, we have to take another person on this line. Hello, good evening and welcome. Hello, good evening. Hello?
Yeah. Hello.
Let's hear you quickly.
Yes. Hello, my name is Matthew Mayor. I'm calling from Bannersville Road Business Shop.
Go ahead, Matthew.
Thank you to the panelists and thank you to the studio guests. My mother made me to feel happy today because anytime we're traveling and our food brothers with us, because we make all to stay on the road because of the embarrassment. And today, I think we on it today. Because in my mind, all us from elsewhere, also making for Cameroon or Sudan, and Grand making for Africa, and the Geo making for Africa today, all our accent. If we travel, so what you call your knee. But what about the Fulani? So I asked the my government on the Geo Joseph Imapata, that gave the people where belongs to all. That gives it to them.
Okay, thank you. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, hello, good evening.
Let's hear you. Welcome.
My name is Manu Gizi from Kakata. Okay, people today, the people are coming, they say they want to become citizens. Okay, for me, I don't have problem with it, but that my own view there. Just imagine a Fula man who lives in Kakata and I have the distance I have from Kakata where fast soon. That man talking on my farm and destroy my farm. Just imagine. The man was looking for a cow. I called the man, he came for a cow. The destruction that man carried on my farm. But that man even say, man, no man. That man never did. He went looking, he told a cow. When I look for him, he talked to me rough. So that really in my heart, really talk to them when they're talking about those things in my heart, really burning.
Okay.
Then imagine I'm a farmer doing those things to send my children to school. Then they let disturb me like that.
Okay.
So that's my own point.
Thank you so much, ma. Let's hear from this person. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, my brother Clarence came and calling from Ghana. Hello, I listen to the panelists and I welcome the panelists and Spoon Airway. Hello, I listen to you people from the beginning up to present. I am not really getting what our brothers want. Okay, because to be very frank, anything they do the bad and nobody disturbing them. But let me just tell them something. What disturbing them? We the one living to the borderland from Lofa end. What really disturbing the people that their culture is their culture. And to be very frank with them, they name me other countries, Mende from Sierra Leone, DC from Guinea, and other 12 from different parents from Guinea. But the way we live together.
Okay.
The way we live together. These people wash it up. They will never have their children associate with any typical Liberian.
Okay, thank you. We take this person here. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. I'm Bob Choma. Yeah, I have listened to your program for this time. I have serious problem with this particular. This trap is a selfish trap. As the brother was just saying that we live in the same border.
You have to be audible, please.
All right. I said, as the last caller just said, we can coexist with other tribes at the border. But these guys are very selfish. You see that every intern, they are so that they have, the great local being there are so bored and they so keep us. The people, when there's a shortage of this good, they keep it for their kinsmen. This particular trap is a selfish trap. And that's why they cannot even succeed in so many countries that we are seeing around that we have gone to. We have seen.
Oh, okay. We're sorry for that. We have to take this other
Can
person.
you post the number? Can you post the number on the screen?
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, sir. How you doing?
We are fine. Go ahead. Your name and where are you calling from?
Okay, I'm at a bar. I call from Pennsville. The discussion tonight is good, but this is my own take on what people are talking about when Fula people are in car, they put them down and ask them. Yes, the same thing happens to any Liberian traveling outside of this country. You can even be a Guinean Pele man or a Mano man. You go to Guinea, you will have to be checked. So this one is no argument at all. And so what I will urge our brothers to do is to be able to mingle with other tribes, in Liberia, like others do. And so we are not, for me, I'm not distinguishing, denying the fact that they have Fula who were born here and who have the right to be citizens. But equally so, you have Fula who are coming, who are not citizens. So these people must be checked. Thank you.
Okay, we have to take all the people on the line this evening. Let's hear this person here from the US. Hello, good evening. Yes, you are live on the radio.
I'm calling from the state of New York. The topic on discussion is very important. Liberia, we fail to follow the law. Anything that is not done legally, it is not done at all. If you have a Liberian parents or have foreign national parents, and you are born in Liberia, that doesn't make you automatically a citizen of Liberia. You have to declare your intention through the code of competent jurisdiction. Therefore, you can declare a Liberian citizen. Not by half different national. Then, with the issue of the Fula people,
quickly.
The problem here is Fula people, they are selfish, and that was the major problem with the Fula people I have. They married different national. They married Liberian citizens, but they don't agree for Liberians to marry a Fula nationality. The first thing they say, "Oh, you Catholic, you can't pray, you're not a Muslim." So these are some of the problems.
Okay. All right, we have to take other people on the line.
Chokon,
Yeah.
before you take another call, please read a message. The other two guys will have to take the next seats.
Okay, they will soon be coming in. Okay, we
Yeah,
take.
today I'm gonna leave out. I'm gonna leave out. I have to run. So somebody
Hello?
else can place.
Welcome. You are live on the radio.
Hello, my name is Solomon Bar, calling from the United Kingdom, Manchester. Hello, can you get me?
Yes, you are live.
Okay. Yeah, can you hear me, sir?
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, you are live. Go ahead.
Okay. My name is Solomon Bar from the United Kingdom, Manchester.
Mhm.
I'm a Fulani Batrat, born in Morovia. Born in Bon Mines, grew up in Rabosfield, Morovia, you name it, Grand Bassa, Sano, Maryland. I've lived in all these places. But the discrimination I received in Liberia before I left the Liberia for the United Kingdom, I couldn't bear it. It was very unbearable. My colleagues in studio today, I applaud you guys a lot for fighting for this independence, for fighting for the discrimination. I'm with you guys. Whatever it takes, I will be by you. I was born in Liberia. I had a Liberian passport. I went to the foreign ministry to renew my passport. My passport was being denied. There was a security guard at the foreign ministry called Christopher Nippy. He got angry. Why was my passport being refused? They had a lady called Lydia Sandamani. She and myself was born together in Bon Mines. She discriminated me. She asked me all the necessary questions about Bon Mines, where I was born. And she identified that I was born in Bon Mines. But because of my name, Bah, B-A-H, I was being discriminated.
Okay.
So, to the fellow Liberians people, you're listening to this. We should stop this discrimination. Liberians are very peaceful people. Go to Conway today and see the great city. the great work the Fulani has done. They changed that forest into a multi-city.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you,
All right,
Ba,
Chokon,
for
just get one
calling
more
in.
call. Chokon, just one more call
Okay,
because we have
we're taking
two
one
other
more
people who
call.
need to
Maybe I
speak.
can get a call from Liberia. The lines.
Chokon, just one more.
Let me get this person here. Good evening. Welcome.
How are you?
You're live. Go ahead.
Yeah, this Bani Kamokaya Johnny Mopura. You see me, and I hate the Fula people, but they get two ways. One, they say when one born, you will never like marry library woman. When they want child, a library can go. Two, Fula will never pay her for librarian to go there for renting the building to them. It's that Fula. The only child I can do that man no. But Fula man, out here, so Fula people can live there. You go there, you want to rent it, get the money inside, they will never allow you to be among them. That's also what they like. The only problem that was there, or someone else there. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
All right, Chokon.
Calling.
Chokon, please bring the other two guests in. We have more time to go. Please, let it cost this.
We have to do that quickly so we can
Yeah, they
have
can take the 2 seats.
the other guys in on this one.
All right, we just listened to Liberians reacting to our guest. So, Paul Kenneth, you listen, and Fadiga, you were here. So, Mr. Ba, you also listen to the callers there making their points. Paul, you can take over and moderate. The two other guests will be coming in. At least you can quiz them, or we can quiz them to get a viewpoint.
Okay, thank you, good day, Fadiga and Mr. Barr. It is, these kinds of, interaction in our country are very necessary. And as I stated previously, before I bring Fadiga in, I think this issue is not about issue of ethnicity. It's whole about the issue of the informal settlement. And I would say informal, because as long as it was not registered among the original group, until the Constitution or until the history reform to include that, we're going to continue to make these challenges. And you heard all of the callers, about 70%, 7 out of 10 callers would say, the people are selfish. He who cries for equity must come with open and clean hands. In my initial proponent, I said the Fulanis came around the 1800s, but they never formally integrated into the society. Society, how you enter in community. When you enter, you have to be inclusive, you have to be participatory, you have to be involved. You cannot segment yourself and expect people to embrace you. So, and I agree with you. People are discriminated for their names. Some people are discriminated just because of how they look. It is not only to a particular tribe in Liberia. In fact, I'm one of the persons who say we should relook at the Liberian Constitution. That Constitution says, except you are of Negro descent, if you're not Black, you cannot be a Liberian citizen. That has affected a lot of my Lebanese friends. They cannot be citizens. So, and don't tell me that Lebanese people are not contributing to Liberian economy. I mean, if you look in Liberia, Lebanese people are some of the people who are contributing. But like I said, there's a path to legalization of citizenship that every tribe and ethnic group in the country will have to follow. So, Fadiga, what say ye?
Well, I listened to the conversation. I think we are onto something here. It's a very good start, but I think there's some conversation that I don't think it should be out here for now. I think it needs to be fine tuned a little, because you have to be very specific when you are making these kind of claims that you want to fight. You have to choose your battle wisely. You have to know what you can get and what you can get easily, and then find a win-win situation. I've listened to the conversation, and one of the things that really got to me is the discrimination. Those are some of the least things you can solve, because there are mechanisms that can be put in place that to stop discrimination, not only against our Fulani brothers and sisters, but against every people of Negro descent, everybody in this country, as for that matter. I don't think the historical reference is necessary to even this conversation, because the history book cannot be rewritten. There are certain things that have been cast in stone. No matter how we talk about it and bring it up in the conversation, it won't change certain people's mind. When it comes to citizenship, tribal status, and all these different things, these are things that have to go. These are not things that can be legislated. No legislator in a house or in a senate can decide this. It will be like a mini civil war, for that matter. But within the purview of the Constitution and the right, they can legislate discrimination across the board. They can legislate marginalization across the board. There are so many things that we, even as citizens, can something. So you have to know what you can win, where you can win, and where going to be the sticky issue. So when I listen to this conversation, I'm hearing two different things. But it's a good start. We are onto something. I think we need to fine tune it a little, come back on the drawing board and see what and what specifically we can get. And then we pound on it, because nobody, no black person, look, this is the Black Mecca. This is the country that was founded by free slaves. So the history of Liberia is very unique. Black from all over, and with the war again, there will be Liberians with British name, white name, Scottish name, a Russian name. So people will come. Just joshing people or checking your citizenship based on your surname is ignorant. In this 21st century, 2024, nobody should be saying, "Oh, you call it, oh, I think you from Bon County, oh, you Fula, I think you from this." There will be different people. So I have my only question, and some of the people say that is we have a very porous border. Most of the tribe you see on the other side, you find them on the other side, and I think this is something that our Fulani brother can work on, and I don't know how they would do it, but somebody asked, what's the difference between Fulani that were born in Liberia, or Diallo in Liberia versus a Diallo in Conakry? I know Channel said, you know what, the same method or use the same strategy used. It's blanket. So for me, and I won't do that the question. I'm about to end on
we have to be fast a little bit.
Let me just end on this. For me, I think the Constitution is clear. There is a clear pathway to citizenship. The law has provided it. I think we need to exploit it the right way.
Thank you, Badiga. Brother Sulumani.
Brother Kennedy, can you hear me? Okay. I would like to for two of my brothers and comrades, Abubakar Barry and Suleiman, to please introduce themselves. Most of the questions now will be answered by the panelists. And if we do know the answer to the question, we redirect it to a specific person. So Suleiman, Abubakar, Abdurrahman, Barry, you please introduce yourself, and thank you for coming aboard. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for this opportunity. My name is Suleiman Jallo, proud Liberians who live in Liberia. All activities in Liberia being part of advocacy for the Fulanis and Liberian business in this country. Have an experience working with the Liberian Chamber of Commerce, Liberian Business Association, Marketing Association, interacting with government, participated a lot of workshop with International Finance Corporation, ILO, International Labor Organization, World Trade Organization, and other international organizations like Center for International Private Enterprise, who train us well against discrimination and train us to advocate for business reform and business activity in this country, to eliminate form of trade barrier. So I've been in the advocacy, I've been passing through a lot of things, interacting all organizations in this country, and we are here to advocate for this recognition
and we can give evidence to all what we are going through without following the right, which is the law, because we all need to base on the law. If we can use the law, I think we can protect each other and we can support each other, and we can promote the economic growth of this nation, and we can promote the development agenda of our nation. Thank you. Let me give Abdurrahman to introduce himself.
Thank you very much. I want to say
Happy Flag Day to Liberia. At this
moment, I have the singular honor to introduce myself. My name is Abdurrahman Dari.
An alumni of
You
BW
have
Harris.
to go close to the mic. We're not hearing you. You need to use the
Yes,
microphone.
please adjust the mic.
An alumni of BW Harris. An alumni of BW Harris, a BSc in economics with distinction from the African Methodist Episcopal University. I serve as the president of the Student Council Government, the 22nd graduated class, a chief liaison of Fula United of Liberia, and a citizen of the Republic of Liberia, a former representative candidate, District Number 12, Masawato County. We are coming from a practical stand of what affects the Fula people. We are not saying there are other people who are not affected by discrimination, but we can speak to what we go through a lot. It is practical. As we speak to you right now, we have issues on hand at the Liberia Immigration Services, or people seizing passports on a willy-nilly basis only because they are Fula people. The LRS are not the institution that issue passport, and therefore they are not the one to seize passports. Moreover, this investigation has taken place over and again in our country. When you are traveling from one point to another, the harassment, intimidations, you can count it. All of us agree, we are not in disagreement, we are fighting for a cause in this country for Liberia to be better. We are not saying somebody should go against the law, but a lot of time people misunderstand and miscalculate and misapply the law. If a law enforcement officer is carrying on his duty, and then when you appear, they judge you by your name, that means they contradict the law. I'm not supposed to be asked certain questions only because I'm Barry. When a SAR is passing, you can possibly be from Sierra Leone. You are not being asked only because your name is SAR. So what I'm saying here, presenting a Liberian passport, if you want to authenticate as to whether the passport is original or what, legit, you can go through the document in. But a lot of time we have seen this. I was leaving Sino coming 10 years ago. That time I just returned from the United States. An immigration lady to Sibe asking me, it has been 1 year since I entered back into this country. So I need to renew my stay in Liberia on a Liberian passport. To tell you, sometimes people join this thing with a motive. The Liberian Immigration Services is currently recruiting people to carry on this LIS work. While they were on the line in LU campus, there were some people saying that if we succeed in entering the service, we know where Fula people will go for them. So this is to educate the people of Liberia that discrimination cannot give us a way forward in our country. Serve everybody with their rights. And that law that says when you reach 18, if you're one of your parents Liberian, you must go and declare intention. It has been amended. July 22nd, 2022, a law was passed that states that anybody of one parent, whether a parent was living in Liberia or not, once you are born, you are a citizen of this country. And no question should come behind that. So absolutely, we need to update ourselves with the new laws. We can have an amendment of a law, then we still use the old law as though that law exists. It is in that amendment that said all other laws that were used, they should be treated as though they have never existed. We have those documents, we can share them with you people. So it baffles me sometimes to see people that would think that are up to date and are still reading arcade books. If somebody tells me there's no history of Fula people in Liberia, maybe the books that are taught in school. But Brother Washington Harris, the founder of BW Harris, wrote a book and mentioned the name of Abdurrahman.
So, can
I read it. But
can
at this point, we receive a lot of
Barry?
questions that put us in defensive as compared to any other citizen of this country.
Thank you, Bro Barry. Good day. You are trying to come in?
Yeah, Mr. Barry is like confusing me, and if possible, some of the listening members in the audience, right? Is it about a citizenship or a trap starter? Because initially I listened to Mr. Diallo talking about, yes, we are citizens. We agree. Our focus is not about citizenship, but we should be treated equally. We should have travel starter. So is it about travel starter or a citizenship? And again, the law that you quoting, yes, you are quoting the law, but you are not quoting it the right way. The law is not telling us that if one of your parents is a Liberian and you were born in Liberia, you should not go and decide which country you want to be a citizen. For example, James Goodey Flomo father is from Guinea, his mother is from Liberia. If James reaches 18, James should go to the court. But that law you quoting says that Liberians who were born outside of Liberia, like I'm in Europe, if I have my child in Liberia, here in Europe, specifically in Poland, my child automatically becomes a Liberian until he or she decides to become a citizen of the country that they were born in. If not, that child is also a Liberian. We should not say no, that child is not a Liberian. Yeah, that's the only little correction I wanted to make. Again, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not quoting the new law, but I think that's the law. It was about the alien nationalization law, right? I think something like that. Yeah. So again, I want you to make something clear if it is about citizenship or a trap starter.
Thank you, Good day. I will defer to Channel Diallo. When Mr. Diallo made his presentation, he clearly made 3 points specific. One, that they were appealing for the end of harassment and discrimination against Fulanis. Two, they wanted Fulanis businesses protected all across the country. Three, they wanted Fulani to be seen as part of the structural geopolitical system of our country, and as such, they should be given the same opportunity and treated with the same privileges that all other Liberian nationals have. Mr. Channel, is that what the point is? Good day is a little confused, and I just wanted to bring him back so that you all can elaborate on that. Go ahead.
Well, thank you so much, Brother Kennedy. I get the name this time around. I wholeheartedly appreciate your paraphrasing of my previous presentation. And I'm glad that Brother Goodday asked for this. Perhaps there are people in the audience that are not as clear on what we want and what this campaign is about, as you clearly articulated. No one could have said it better, right? We as a community, we acknowledge that we are part and parcel of Liberia, historically, economically, and socially. There are verifiable historical accounts to that. The video I was about to show is a documentary that won the Best Documentary Award in 2014, narrating the history of a Fulani prince who migrated to Liberia during 1816. He was on one of those ships that returned Africans back to the land we now call Liberia. Liberia has historically been a safe haven for all Black people, all African people. Liberia holds a strategic historical context across the Community of Nations, but in the context specifically in West Africa and Africa in general. We are a country and place of peace and liberty. However, like minority groups in Liberia historically have not enjoyed similar protections, similar right as the rest of the other dominant ethnic groups who has like who has to some extent, if you look at government policy, like the one I cited, on the census, you do not have minority ethnic groups listed. What that does to individual Fulani is to erase their identity. And when it comes to understanding the number of Fulani in Liberia, our government should be responsible to give account of that in as much as they are responsible to give account of that for the Basas, the Pele, and the rest of the other Madingo, and the rest of the other ethnic groups. Our government has not been protective of us in that direction. I also alluded to the civil education report and document from the Ministry of Education. It got revised about some months ago. You have all other ethnic groups listed, but you have Fulani and other minorities are not listed. Reverend Dr. Buyer, for some of you who follow history, who follow historian, one time former minister of Minister of Information in Liberia, he has written dozens of books giving account to the complex history, the diversity of our beautiful country. This is why we are calling our brothers and sisters in Liberia to revisit history. I agree with a lot of points that Brother Fadiga raised, but on the question of we cannot revisit history, this is not the intellectual and academic perspective of a nation building approach. Society evolves, languages evolve, religion evolves, individuals' mindset evolves. We as a nation, we are a growing society. Therefore, we'll have this discussion. We should open up this debate. We cannot say the history is a set in stone. We cannot revisit it. There is also the history of Dr. Ba, who once served in Liberian military as a medical doctor. There is the history of individual Fulanis currently in various political parties, in various economic sectors of our country. Are we saying because they are dialos, they are bad, we cannot reflect their contribution to the country? Are we not proud of what they have to offer? And also alluded to like the Constitution. The Constitution is clear. Prior to 1986, whichever ethnic group, individual person in Liberia, prior to the adaptation of that constitution, is there for Liberia. We were there as an ethnic group. We have our governorship. The governorship is recognized by the Ministry of Internal Affairs, and in the extension, the Liberian government. Therefore, we are a lawful citizen prior to the 1986 constitution. This is why we are arguing on the point of citizenship. We are citizens. What we are demanding, the Liberian government, both past and current government, and that of our fellow Liberian brothers and sisters, is to acknowledge reality, acknowledge the contribution that we have provided historically, see us as one of you because we treat you as one of us. And a lot of people alluded to the question of marriages. These are individual situations. If I fall in love with a Pele girl, she doesn't like me, I shouldn't blame Pele people for that. Love is a matter of taste. I have seen so many Fulani girls, personal friends, high school. I did my high school. If you allow me 2 more minutes or want to conclude, they are dating different people from different countries.
I have few questions.
So this is not about
don't you will come in, let Brother Diallo end his point.
Yeah. So this is not about like using a single situation. One of the callers emphasized on there is this particular Fulani cattle like herder whose cattle happen to like maybe go onto their homeland or farm. I don't understand the story that clearly, but we also understand there are people paid simply to come and tarnish our reputation. Among the Madingo people, there are amazing people. There are individuals that are not as amazing. Among the Fula people, there are amazing people. There are also terrible people. These individuals who have these sort of narrow-minded view of life and ethnic group, they are in every group. We cannot judge a Pele people simply because of the behavior that or an encounter I have with a Pele man. So, and also to the question of number, the Liberian society and the Liberian government, including its laws, need to protect every citizen, regardless of the number of population you have in the country. Even if you are one person representing a particular group or representing yourself, it is the responsibility of government to protect you. We sign a contract with the government through elections. We vote for them.
Thank you, Mr.
Okay, thank you, Barry.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Diallo. We have 20 minutes, and we will make use wisely of those time. So that we share around. Please be brief with your next, response. Let me welcome my friend and brother, Abdullahi Kiatamba. Mr. Kiatamba, I'm sure you've been following the conversation about the concern raised by some of the leaders from the Fulanese community in Liberia and in the diaspora. They want to get their fair share of protection. They want to get their fair share of respect, and they want the populace to not discriminate against them and so forth. I will come to you to get your take, but I think brother Ahmed Ba was trying to come in. He's on the phone now. So while he's on the phone, Kiatama, let's come to you to get your take. Kiatama, you are muted. We cannot hear you, and your room is dark.
Okay.
Please make it clear.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, you are loud now. Go ahead.
Well, first of all,
your room is dark.
Yeah, exactly. Don't mind. That would be a different topic, but we'll resist. Look, first of all, this is wonderful. This is the fact that we having this conversation is progress. Everywhere around the world, people, identity, nationality, citizenship, culture come under these kind of discussions. The issue is about integration. Liberia is a melting pot. Liberia was established as its melting pot, as a space for those who have been discriminated against in slavery. Liberian from West Indies, the Grimes, Liberian from South Carolina became citizens of Liberia. Liberian from Sierra Leone, this is a migration, streams of migration from all around the world. So I think this debate is useful because there are two things I see here. You see the story of Abdul Sori, who was a slave who came to America and died actually in Liberia, Fulani, in the Futa Jalo kingdom. There have been huge stories, but we have to be clear. The first migration, I have a cousin who's a Fula. My aunt Marie, one of the Fulani who came to Liberia in the 50s, in the 60s. So our first cousins that are Fula, and in our tradition, we don't call them cousins, I call them brothers and sisters. But that generation of Fulanese were not interested in having a place like these generations. They were traders, they were merchants, they were moving from place to place. They were focused more on wealth accumulation, business development. And so these generations, and their numbers were small. We see an expansion, numerical expansion of the Fulanese in Liberia. The largest economy outside the Lebanese control, the indigenous black-owned economy in Liberia are controlled by the Fulanese. They have effectively replaced the Mandingos. As those who are contributing to the economy, they employ thousands of Liberians. Thousands of Liberians. They build schools. These schools are educating our kids. They're part of the fabric of our society. They are in all the political parties. They are representing candidates. They are part of our culture, our civic life. They are contributing amazing major contributions. So this moment has come. And let's be clear, of Fulani, who was born here in the 60s and in the 50s, it's Liberian, it's Liberian like me. It's Liberian like Paul Kennedy. But a Fulani who come from Mali is not a Liberian. And let's be clear, that distinction, and I think Paul emphasized that very well. The challenge, how do we not engage in acts that undermine the very existence? I live in America. We saw what happened. The issue of citizenship, of discriminations, of allowing people to create a melting pot where everybody have a voice, everybody is valued, their contribution are respected. The Fulanese are very good people. They are decent people. I have dealt with them. I grew up with them. They are a major part of our economy. They are a major part of our country. And I think we need to understand their history. And I like this. The problem we face is a lack of public education. I think the previous Fulani leadership did not do well educating the public of the presence of the Fulani, the history of the Fulani, the impact of the Fulani, the economic assets of the Fulani people, the role the Fulani have played. And so that has made it difficult. A regular Liberian see Fulani as foreigners. And sometimes we bring the immigration officer, but there's no way to distinguish between the guy who just coming from Guinea, the guy who coming from Mali, who has been here for generations, 3 generations, grandparents, parents. And so that difficulty is what we need to resolve. And it is important for our law enforcement officer to know that we cannot discriminate against our fellow citizens. Fulanese that have been here in Liberia, who were born and raised here as citizens. Now, but there's clear about the law. The law is saying if one of the parents is out here, you have to declare an allegiance to the state. And I think this issue is not clear black and white. But
Right.
this discussion allows us to debate this issue. I'm glad we're having this conversation. And I thank the leader of the Fula community for standing up for what is their deserving right. To let us debate this issue. And I think this is the moment we've been waiting for.
This is introductory, Kiatama, and we will follow up.
Yes.
I'm sure that the community will follow
No,
up.
I'm coming. Let me just conclude quickly. So I think this public education is important. And so the question today is, what do you want? Do you want a few? I don't think these people want accounting. I don't think they want to have a preferential treatment. What they want is equal, respectable treatment. They are people who are contributing to our society. They run our economy. They employ Liberians. They are Liberians. But there are some Fulanis who, this thing is complicated because how do you distinguish between those who are coming from Guinea, from Mali, from Senegal, and those who have been here for a long time? And I think the system itself has not been able to manage the different streams. The immigration officers have not been trained to understand the different streams. And so there are moments where those who are born and raised here as citizens and their parents are citizens are subject of discrimination. And I think this kind of discussion helps us to address these issues, because when Liberia is just, when Liberia is fair, it is Liberia growth. The growth of America is streamed of different generations. Obama's father came from different countries. America is great because it has allowed itself to integrate and assimilate people of different cultures and streams of religion into this melting pot, into this cultural tapestry. And I think this moment is necessary to advance this conversation. And I think it should go beyond this. The Fulani community has an obligation to educate the public, to question, to list issues of discriminations, to engage our lawmakers, to engage our political players, to engage our society, and be clear. What exactly do you want? Do you want to be listed as citizens? But this is the beginning. And I think all of us should be on this journey. But I think it is a good journey. It is good for the country. It is good for our democracy. So I'll stop there.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Paul.
Thank you.
Paul,
Let me bring
Paul,
Paul
please.
in. Yes.
Paul, please, if I may get elaborate.
Yes,
Please elaborate a little bit. Yes, okay. I will bring, I will thank Fatiga. I want to say thank you very much. Mon Fulanyo, mon Basonyo, Mpo Basolu, with that all I want to be. But anyway, this is a very healthy conversation. I'm following also the comments. I think we have about 475 comments. And I'm reading those comments too. We are here to listen. We are here to educate. Like I said, the 7 pillars we are based on, we're going to fight for those pillars. We're going to train people. We're going to educate the Fulani of the right. We're going to make sure that we bring in lawmakers and whosoever we need to bring in. But Fatiga, we need you to tell us what we need to do. Paul, we need you. We have Abdul Rahman. There's a lot of discrimination. For me, it hurts. I'm a Liberian, born Liberian, breathe in my flesh and blood. But I tell all my friends when they used to call me, our incident, they call me Fula Bar. Okay, they call me Fula Bar, I agree. But you know my pa used to tell me, if they call you Fula Bar, tell them to go bring God. And that God made you Fula and your man Fula, your pa Fula, your man Liberian. So we engage the community. We engage them on those 7 pillars. Like I said in Fula, when I was senior, I would let Abdul Rahman help me because I would yet have Benfo. Pula and Laba, kono novelty. Walen fi komen wal du menen fo. Si en wal di men wan wal lat onon kadi. What did I say, Abdul Rahman?
It's like help us in order for us to help all of us.
So that is our goal, is to bring
Thank
together
you.
all
Thank
the
you very much. I think
Kiatama
Kiatama laid the premise for the civic engagement and the community stakeholder arrangement on this issue. It is good that we are bringing this to light. And Kiatama made one salient point, that the previous generation of Fulanis in Liberia were really just transient population. They were more migrant. They were not fully interested in what some of the current generation is highly interested in now. And the fact that we are bringing this conversation on the table, is worthwhile, and we will all look at it from different perspectives. I'm going to Brother Wallace Powell, but let me just allow Mohammed Ba to introduce himself, then I'll come over to you, Wallace. Hold a point. Mohammed, welcome to Spoon.
Hi guys, thank you very much. My name is Mohammed Juldeba, and I'm joining you from the great state of New York. precisely New York City. Um, can I go on, or is just an introduction?
Just introduction. We'll come back to your point.
Okay, thank
I was
you.
trying to bring Wallace Power in. Wallace, go ahead. Wallace, you are muted. You have to unmute yourself.
You are still muted. You have to press the mute button.
Just go press the unmute button, the speaker button, and then very good. You are unmuted now. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm all right now. You know, I have listened very interestingly. This program tonight is such an interesting program. You see, because it reveals a lot of things that a lot of us were not aware of. But what I want to take away from here is that I think we, the Fulani supporters, I think we have failed to answer a concern of Mr. Kennedy and Mr. Fariga. Now, I would always love to have these two people in a discussion with me when it comes to the matter of the Fulanis. You see, because they ask the hard question, but at the risk of sounding what you might say critical of my own people, who are the Fulanis, I will say I will reserve my full reaction to that until later. But I think what we did not do here tonight, we the Fulanis, I'm not a Fulani, but I'm a Fulani supporter. So I say we the Fulani supporters and what have you. We did not, to me, I'm not certified with the definition that we gave with regard to what is the objective of the Fulanis right now. I failed to get that. We went on to what I consider to be, we name secondary issues. Stopping you at the border. You can't get a job. You get the cop. To me, those are secondary. The primary issue to me is to ask for anyone to claim a right. You must always start with your status. My approach to this whole Fulani thing is to start with defining the status of the Liberian Fulani. And I think that
I want to precisely address that. This is why I came on.
I will hold my peace for now because I don't want to sound critical of my own people who I'm supporting. But I myself did not grasp from this conversation today what is our main objective of this.
Can I address that, please? Can I address that?
Yeah, we'll come to you, Mr. Barr. We'll just let him finish at one point. Powell, are you done?
Yeah, I'm done for now.
Okay. So Mr. Barr, just to give you a historical onset,
I'm seeking an answer for a more specific objective of being here.
Exactly. So all we have heard today from the diligent and very intelligent panel, hosts on this panel team has been enumerating what they've been going through as far as discrimination is concerned, the lack of opportunities that are forbidding them, some challenges that they face, which you all know, Mr. Barr, from sitting in New York, that because you are even Black, a lot of times the police people will pull you over in this great state, So discrimination, segregation, those are elements that dwell line in line with the human race and the human population. So welcome to Spoon, and please just give us your take. What is it that the Fula community want at this point in time in Liberia?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I want to bring my story to the picture. Maybe that will help people to understand. First of all, what we are advocating for is to end discrimination against the Fulani people and against all people, period. That is what we are asking for. It's not about, the argument is not about citizenship in particular, because you have Fulanis that are Liberians and you have Fulanis that are not Liberians, to address the concern of those that are concerned about Fulanis coming from Guinea, Fulanis coming from Nigeria. It's true. But the law is clear. The alien nationality law is clear. You come to the country, you stay there for 5 years, you can file for your citizenship, and then you can go through the process and become a citizen. And once you become a citizen, there where our argument come in. Now, let's say Those that, let's say I came into the country, stayed there for 5 years, followed the law, fell in love with Liberia, became a citizen, and now the discrimination begins. I'm a citizen, I follow the law, but yet I get discriminated against. So I want to bring my story in. I came to the United States in 2014 during the Ebola crisis. And quickly, I applied for TPS, temporary status, that President Obama was granting people from Liberia, Guinea, and Sierra Leone because of the Ebola crisis, right? And then I got my TPS. If you get the TPS, they allow you to get a work authorization, get a social security number, and you can get a driver license. And the rest, you guys know the story. So I did that and I followed the law and I never felt discriminated against one day in my life. I've been in the United States for 10 years. Not one day. I went from TPS to getting my green card, and soon I'll become an American citizen. I'll say that here clearly. I have no issue about that. But not a single day I felt discriminated against because of my race, because of my religion in the United States. This is what we want. This is what we are asking for. We want the Fulanis to be free. We want the Fulanis to be given equal opportunity like any other Liberians. Those that are Liberians, when they go through the process to get their birth certificates, when they go through the process to get their passports, they should not find any discrimination to renew those documents. This is what we are asking for. It's very simple. And I also want to use this time an opportunity to apologize to the lady that called and said a Fula man went to her farm and his cow to destroy her farm. I really want to apologize to her for going through that experience. I want to say I'm sorry on behalf of what happened to you, on behalf of all of the Fulanis. We apologize to you. And we hope that you find in your heart to forgive him and forgive all Fula people. But as Cherno said, don't judge one person's action against the whole community. That's not fair. That's not fair. So what we're asking for Liberians is stop the discrimination.
Thank you.
Us
Thank you
like
very
any
much.
other Liberian. Thank you very
We are
much.
drawing closer to our end point, so we'll just go back to Mrs. Damaba Diallo, and then
Suleiman
after
Diallo.
her, you will all make the 1 minute closing point. Ms. Diallo,
Yeah,
please
so
go ahead.
before we go to her 1 minute, let us allow Solomani to give chance to Mr. I'm sorry, Dr. Gay. I don't know.
Oh yeah, Solomani, sorry, we overlooked you. Go ahead.
Do we have Dr. Gay in the studio?
Yes, sir. Dr. Gay is in the studio.
He outside.
He's outside. Can you please get him for us, please?
Yeah, so before he go, I think we can allow him to do his closing, to give his closing before he
can you do your closing, please? Yes, sir.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. What I want to remind each and every one of us, Fulani been sitting down without not advocating highly for their right. That is some of the reason of the discrimination. But now we are ready. We based on laws. We're not based on sympathy. We're not requesting for nobody to give us what we not belong to us. We based on the laws of the country. What the country say as law, when we follow it, everybody have to respect it. We are all under the laws. Not because you came before me, not because you are established better than me. The law need to be respected. The naturalization law, the birth certificate law, all need to be respected. This is what I told you, the interaction of these agencies of government. Wow. Agencies of government. I learned a lot. I have a heavy experience in this market. I can be listen to Spoon TV sometime discussing about the Liberian economy. Call me, let me tell you something about the Liberian economy. What we're going through, what of the challenges we have sometime. My advocacy in this country and never advocate only for Fulani. The access to market for Liberians, own business where there are challenges today everywhere. We are the one finding solution to it, to integrate Liberian businesses, to make sure we work with them, we build Liberian businesses. We build these stores, they are renting everywhere. We are working with them, going with them China, facilitating their goods to come here, whether you have container money, you don't have container money, transferring their money, doing all this. Nobody want to mention it. We tire with that. Our contribution, we will show it to the world, the kind of contribution we are making here generally for us as Liberians to promote this nation, and we're requesting all Liberians to support the right thing, not the wrong thing. This kind of segregation they have, saying that we are selfish. If we are not selfish, we are selfish. You can't taught us in school. We
Thank you.
take children to you.
Thank
We
you.
have,
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
you live in your houses. You live in our houses. We live together. If we are selfish, we're not going to live here. We take
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Jallo. Don't dwell on personal sentiments.
Yeah,
We will hear
let's
people just voice their opinion to
yeah,
you.
Mr. Jallo, you go undermine your own case. Honestly, you go in places where you undermine your own case.
Yeah,
I'm
forget
but
going
I'm
after
telling you,
Eric
let us
individual.
work, brother,
Let's
based
talk.
on the laws of Liberia. Any of us violating the law, we don't request for support. But if we comply with the law, let the government respect it, let the population respect it. They should not use it against us because we are Fula. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you.
If
In
you
the
have
same
any-
token, let us not segregate against our sister, who is the only female on this panelist.
Go
Bring
for
her
it.
in.
Take her on now.
Bring her in now so that we
Yes,
don't
bring
hold
her in.
for gender inequality. Go ahead, my sister.
Thank you so much. I'm going to bring a feminine touch to the discussion. It's been a very interesting, enlightening discussion, and I think it opens the door to more of this. This is the very essence of Liberia. Liberia is supposed to be a safe haven for Black people around the world, and for us to segregate a whole ethnic group, we can't do that. So it's part of the discussion. How we supposed to be brothers and sisters? How we supposed to be peace-loving people? How we supposed to be inclusive? And you know, I was reading some of the comments in the chat room, and I thought, you know, it's an opportunity for education. It's an opportunity to come to common ground. How can we put it back into a political framework? How can we put it back into an educated framework? How can we bring Liberians back together? How can we be the glue? That's why this discussion and this forum today has been very important, because it's not only about Fulani, it's not only about Fula people. It comes to be, oh, it's about Liberians. What do we hold? What do we hold true to our hearts? How do we define ourselves as Liberians? Now, Fullers are, we came here today and we're struggling to tell you guys what it is we want. We want to be recognized as Liberians. It's quite simple. We want to be recognized as Liberians. That's it. Point blank. We don't have anything else that we need, but we don't want to be discriminated against because of our tribal background. That's not fair to us as Black people, as Africans, and as Liberians. It's not fair. We are Liberian. We don't have anywhere else to go, so nobody should send us anywhere. And we have the right. I want to talk for our mothers and our sisters and our daughters. We have the same right as any other female in Liberia. So that means that when we go to deliver our babies, we shouldn't be discriminated against. When we are raising our children shouldn't be discriminated against. And when our children go to get their ID cards and their passports, or they go to do national exam or get their educational results, their diplomas and so on, they shouldn't be discriminated against. When they go to register at LU, they shouldn't be discriminated against. It's a worry for us. And because for someone like me, coming back to Liberia, I shouldn't be worried that because of my last name, now I'm going to be discriminated against. I want to bring my children to Liberia without discrimination. And so that is
Thank you.
what we're talking about. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you very much. Thank you. Dr. Gray, Dr. Gay, let's hear your parting comment.
Thank you so much. I'm sure one of these days we'll get a chance to come on the show again. I'm going to do this quick. You see the seal? This is the original seal of Liberia. The original seal of Liberia has a Muslim, it has an indigent, and also has a repatriated African. The foreigners were smart enough to capture this. And this book is important because this is the history of Liberia told from the U.S. capital to Monrovia. Katema, you mentioned something very important. Here is it. The United States will be sending a team to do a story of Liberia based on the Fulani prince. This is the book that was being mentioned. Let me tell you this. This book is a loving story of what happened in and we can tell this story because National Geographic will be in Liberia in December. It is coming because of a Fulani story. This is a story that worth to make millions of dollars. Young people will have a sense to get a job in December because of a story, a narrative. The challenge to Liberia has always been the struggle with the Christian formation of our country. Muslims were here. So what do? We should tell that part of our story. And that was the struggle that those who founded Liberia struggled to accept this aspect of our history. But we cannot discriminate against anyone. Citizenship is evolution. 400 years ago, Africans were not counted. We were counted as property in the United States. Today, the DNC is carrying a black woman of Jamaican and Indian heritage. She's counted in the census. That is why the United States has given us a platform to help ourselves. You count your people based on their ethnicity. Leches is wrong. We should call them. They are getting free money. In fact, for me, if I were in government, Leches should be fired. 2008 census, you cannot count the population. You are wrong. But let me leave us with two rules for our Fulani community and Liberia as a whole. To the community, rule 1, don't quit. Rule number 2, always remember rule number 1. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your parting statement. We'll come to Abdurrahman Barry for his parting statement.
Thank you very much. All has been said in the kickstart of a struggle, and this struggle is not only to the Fula people. Anybody that thinks that discrimination is a bad thing, join this struggle. Where we want it to be done, let it be done in holistic. What I'm talking about mostly here, there are a lot of people who are law enforcers and they leave the law, they jump into somebody's book they call history, and they judge you based on that book. And for which it is very wrong. Somebody's history book cannot replace the law. So now somebody is saying Liberia got 16 tribes because I'm a Fula man, I was born, raised here, go to school, I obtained my first passport 2000, 2005, I got another one, 2011, I got another one. Up to this time, I have obtained more than 5 passports. But every time you go, you have to answer the same old questions. At this time, I'm closing with the supporting of each and every member of this panel and the guest to always open door for us so we can come and discuss the issues affecting us. We have issues, like Suleiman said, reflecting the economy of this country, but we are not being asked when policies are being made. This is the only country they ask you to pay tax more than your benefits you're getting. And we'll discuss that another day. Thank you very much.
Abdurrahman, thank you very much. A philosopher once told me, nobody gives you what you want. You need to go out and get it. So I think this is a good initiative that the Fulani community is taking. And you should continue your fight and continue the advocacy. Ahmed Ba, please give your parting statement.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, panelists. I really appreciate being here today. And I will give you a brief evolution of how the whole stuff started. About 9-10 months ago, my sister, she's a Liberian. She went to Liberia due to unfortunate incident that happened to her son in Minnesota. I think, Paul, you know about the story. And when the incident happened, after we buried her son in Minnesota, she went to Liberia. Katamba know her. When she went to bring her children from Liberia, she went to Liberia with a passport. She a Liberian. She called me crying. She said, Hammer, the people said they can't get my children passport. They want birth certificate, they want my birth certificate, they want the other one, they want the other one, they want the other one, they want this and that. So I felt so hyped. I almost bought a plane ticket that day to go Liberia, because if I'm in Liberia that day, my sister or children are going to get a passport because I know what I can do. But I'm not going to go there. So everybody been asking, they say they didn't know what we're asking for. What do the Fula people want? Katamba asked the same question. My oldest brother, I knew him from since I was 6 years old, he asked me the question. Paul asked the question. My brother Fatiga, because now you're my Bassa brother, not Fatiga. Me and Fula, you money with Bassa people now. We're talking. What the Fula people want? And I'll make it loud and clear. We will not stop. Like I said, we'll continue to push. People that help us, will help them. Because in Liberia, the only time they know the Fula people is time for election. When it's time for election, all of them know the Fula people. But after election, they don't know us no more. So the question again, I will answer the question, what do we want? We as citizens of the Republic of Liberia, we want it from the executive order or legislative order that will be treated like the 17 ethnic group in the Republic of Liberia and be treated like every other tribe in Liberia. That's what we want. We don't want nothing else. We want beg you for nothing. We want you to recognize us as Liberian citizens and to give our full and duty right as Liberian citizens, not to be harassed to get our grandpa passport, our great-grandpa passport, our great-grandmother passport. I got Bassa children. I got Pele children too. I got Grebo children. I got Loma. I got Nimba in my blood. They are all Liberians. So again, anybody asking the question, you please leave from here today, knowing that we as Fula, as Liberians, want to be recognized.
Thank you.
17 ethnic groups and be treated like every other tribe. Nothing else.
Thank you.
And we are ready.
Thank you.
We are
That's
ready.
That's a fair ask. Thank you. Thank you, my brother. Mohammed Ba, close your point.
Thank you very much. In 2021, I went to Liberia with my wife and 2 kids. My wife and 2 kids are U.S. citizens. I'm the only Liberian in the family. We got to the airport, presented the U.S. passports to the immigration officer. He just looked at the U.S. passport, said, go. The Liberian man came. It was my turn. I presented my passport. I'm the Liberian. I came to Liberia, and then he won't give me a hard time. You got Fula man. You see? Why you not give the American people a hard time? Huh? Why you not give my wife a hard time? She's an American citizen. Why you not give my children a hard time because they are U.S. citizens? You respect the United States. You respect their passport. But the Liberian man who carrying a Liberian passport because I'm bad, he won't give me a hard time. You know? So this is what we are asking for, guys. Folks, we are asking for stop the discrimination. Stop it. It's not fair to us. Then one more final point. One final point. I want Liberians to know that we are Muslims. We are Fulanis, but we are also Muslims. So our religion as Muslims has rules and regulation, has guidelines. So to those that say
No, but
we
not all
are
Fulanis are Muslim.
just okay.
Let's not.
It's fair. It's fair.
Yeah,
But just generally.
don't blanket it, Mr. Ba. I think
Yeah,
you
not all
be
Fulanis are
specific
Muslims.
about your own personal relation as far your religion is.
Okay, good. Generally, majority are Muslims. Let's say it that way. So there are rules and regulations when it comes to the religion. So I want just Liberian people to open their mind, read, and stop saying these people are selfish people. We are not selfish people. Sometimes there are certain things we do it because of our religion. I just wanted to make that point clear. It's not about
Thank you.
selfishness. It's just that the religion has restrictions. There are certain things we can do, so we have to follow our religion. We love our religion more than we love our tribe.
Thank
Okay?
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much. We look forward to seeing you again, Brother Chino Dualu. Diallo, please. Mr. Chino Dualu. I hope I'm pronouncing the name right.
I mean, you're giving me Brother Dwalu name. It's okay. I'll take it. Again, the name is Chano Diallo. And first of all, I want to take this time to appreciate the Spoon Network, the entire panelists, our brothers on the panel with the amazing questions, with the comment, with the support, and also the audience. I want to take this unique opportunity to appreciate them for the engagement, for engaging with us with an open mind. This is the first of many appearances, many intellectual exchanges, and many discussion around the identity of Liberians and Fulani in particular. We understand Liberia is a land of liberty, is a land that protects, that is supposed to protect the right and of every person. We as a community, we are patriots, we are citizens. We will continue to be a law-abiding group of individuals and people in Liberia. We will support the government and civil society, individual Liberians through the businesses individual Fulanis run, the investment, and also the representation abroad. I, for a fact, from 2016, I have been lived in Liberia for a complete year. I have gone to South Africa and have been flying the Liberian flag. I'm a proud Liberian in South Africa. My friends, my teachers, everybody recognized me not on the basis of my ethnicity. They called me our beloved Liberian student. I also went to the University of Rochester, a predominantly white institution in New York. I flew the Liberian flag in all of the events, the student leadership, and representation I did on behalf of different clubs, the institutions, and the conferences I attend. At Harvard, I embody the identity of Liberia, and through different programs, I was opportune to, put the Liberian map out there. We even attempted inviting a good number of different Liberians from the diaspora community from Liberia to come to Harvard and speak to a varieties and diverse student body. So there is a benefit for us to have an open mind as a country, to accept each other, to love each other, to support each other. This is the only way any country has developed. The great United States, the most diverse, if I should conclude on this quickly, the great United States, one of the most diverse countries in the world. They take advantage of the diversity. They do not see that as a threat. Therefore, fellow Liberians, it is time for us to accept each other, for us to support each other. We, from the background of the Fulani community, we are willing to work with all Liberians, support Liberian businesses, support the culture, the education sector, and you can count on us as brothers and sisters. Again, thank you so much. We invite you to join us for this advocacy and advocating for the minority groups right in Liberia. Thank you so much, and do have a great rest of your night.
Thank you very much.
Paul, can they stay on while we do our closing? Can they just stay on while we do our closing after they're done?
Yeah. So please stay on for us to just finalize our closing, because they got other panelists who want to make some additional points for this very good conversation that we are starting today. Mr. Alhaji Sangera.
I want to say that this is the first time in the history of Liberia for the Fulas to come and ask for their right. And we are going to continue. It's not going to stop here. We will come back again one day to Spoon Network or to any other radio station to make sure that our problem are totally addressed. We want to call on every Fula man to be involved for us to be recognized. We got to be involved to be recognized. We can't sit down. We have to fight for our right. What are you in Liberia? You are outside Liberia. You need to put together. I can assure the Liberians that from Kipma to Harper, from Masuradu to Lofa, all the Fulas are one body. We are one people under the laws of Liberia. Thank you. We'll come back again one day, inshallah.
Thank you very much. Mr. Wallace Powell, please make your closing.
All right.
You are muted. Please unmute yourself.
Mr. Powell, you are muted. Press the microphone.
I don't see that keep going. Paul, let's keep going. I mean, time is.
All right, he's not there anymore.
We are not hearing
Your
you.
point,
We are not
your
hearing you.
mic is not clear.
On mute.
All right,
You
so
have
we'll
his
go to
number. Call him and tell him to.
we'll go to our Bassa Fula brother, Mr. Bar, to make his closing comment.
I think he just did. Well, he made a closing comment.
No, I made my closing comment, but anyway, Katamba, thank you. Wallace, your mute button is on. Guys, I appreciate this conversation
Press the mute button.
from the bottom of my heart. I'm going to thank the Spoon Network. Good day, Paul, Katamba, Al Hassan. You and my brother got the same name. His name is Chadno Al Hassan too. So we are all one people. We appreciate what you guys have done for us. And I can guarantee you we'll be back. Because this is just the joining. We're just beginning with setback, and we'll get information that will get feedback, constructive feedback, and we'll come back. But I want everybody to please be aware. We as Fula, the Republic of Liberia, and I will speak for every Fula in Liberia right now. I have that right to do that because of my heritage.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Fight this battle. We'll push this issue until we get where we want. We want no giveaway. The only thing we want, and I will say it again, we want for Fula to be treated like every other tribe in the Republic of Liberia. We want for Fula, secondly, to be enshrined into the Constitution of Liberia, whether it's legislative, executive, judiciary, to be the 17th ethnic group in Liberia. We will not stop, we will not waver, we will not give in until we accomplish us, because the discrimination is getting to be too bad.
All right. After Mr. Bar, Mohammed Bar.
But Paul, before we go,
we just want to. We just want to join the conversation at about this time to say a very big thank you to the Spoon TV network. You know, I'm a student of history. I read about the French philosopher and political scientist Frank Fanon. He said, every generation has a mission. Our generation within the Fulani community is to be able to make the case for our people. Legally, there is no argument beyond us. Constitutionally, no argument. Politically, no argument. All we need and all we want to say is that we too are part of this country. You cannot have almost all of the Fulanis in various sectors. Even nowadays, when you go to public agencies, Fulanis are working there. When you just conduct a survey, the just in the elections, there are many more Fulani contesting the elections for the very first time. But yet and still you call us to be foreigners. Our argument is not about that. We have elevated the conversation from that point. Our argument here too is, let our colleagues, our brothers, our sisters, even though they still arguing that they want to marry our sisters, if that's the reason, I don't think they will be considered to be foreigner again. If that's the gamble we can do now. All I want to say is that we'll continue this process, and trust me, we'll move on to other intellectual centers or radio stations and make the compelling case why we too are part of this country. You know, America was not just given to the blacks. They stood up for their rights, the legs of Dr. King and all of the guys. So we too will follow the path, very respectful as we contribute towards the growth of this country. On this note, we want to say thanks to the Spoon TV network, and we look forward to many more fruitful debates to expand the conversation beyond the metrics.
Good day. You are trying to say something.
No, Wallace, you gotta get Wallace now. Power.
Yes, I'm okay now. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Yes, Mr. Powell, go ahead. We can hear you.
Okay.
Now.
I'm just going to say this. If tonight was the night where we gave 1,000 reasons why the Fulanis should enjoy the same benefit as Wallace Power, this conversation will be over. I will dominate it. So I wait for the day to come when that happens. But for now, let me say this. Mr. Barr has answered the burning question that has been in my mind. And I will let you in a little secret. I have been asking this same question before coming here because I'm a very thorough person. Okay? When I go to battle, I must make sure I'm able to predict the kind of questions that will be, or the challenges that will be faced with. Now that Mr. Barr has answered my question, I will say now I have now been given reason to find another 1,000 reasons why. When the time comes to vote, the Fulanis will enjoy the same benefits that I, Watersburg, enjoy as a citizen. That's what I have to say. I thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Fadiga or Kiatama, any of you can go first.
Let me go because
yes, let me go. Fadiga.
He said
Fadiga.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't mind, can I go?
No, you said something I wanted to disagree with first, but go ahead.
Me?
You said something earlier far away, but it's been several minutes.
Yeah, but okay. We are combining together. But here's what I'll say. Here's what I'll say, Paul. I think, look, we have to be careful. What I heard tonight, and let me pay tribute to Liberia as a country. Liberia has been a generous host. We hosted our Fulani brothers. We provided them opportunity. We provided them our wives, and they are all part of our fabric. I do not want this campaign to be stigmatizing and finding everything wrong with the country. The fact that you are running an election, the fact that you are participating in the midst of discrimination is a tribute to a country that welcome and embrace you. So do not make this campaign about what is wrong with the country and the people. Make this campaign about they are good people, but the system has challenged that goodness. That's my first advice to this campaign. This campaign, what I heard was everything wrong with the people in the country. I want to hear what is good about the country, including the opportunity to take part, the opportunity to build wealth, the opportunity to marry our wife, the opportunity to be an important player at the table, to influence the politics and the policy. The other aspect is that, look, the Fulanis are facing identity crisis. And that identity crisis, it is getting difficult for some people to distinguish between identity crisis and discrimination. And if I'm an immigration officer, I do not know whether this Fulani is a Liberian Fulani or a guy that came from out of the country. So what I'm facing, so there are moments where we have to distinguish between identity crisis and discrimination. Because if I'm struggling between whether I'm a Fulani from Liberia and Guinea, the law enforcement, there's not a lot of education and training and cultural competency to understand the distinction. The last thing I will say, there should not be grievance focused, solution focused. We saw everything wrong. We've been discriminated against. What is your solution? What is 2-3 solutions that you to policymakers and say, this is our answer to the problem we face. We believe that by doing this, this will change. Okay, there's discrimination. What is your solution to the discrimination? What are you recommending that is specific to your needs and your experiences? And I think this is very important. And lastly, the issue of coherent message. There are different voices about the Fulani cause and campaign. And these voices can sometimes be conflicting. You have to come up with a coherent message. One group can say, we're not here to demand for citizenship. Another group say, we're here for citizenship. And then a group say, oh, no. You have to come and make sure, because this society is evolving, has not come to terms with new cultural realities. And they could react, instead of winning public support, you could stir up public resentment. So this is what I will say. And I think some of the challenges, we do agree, discrimination exists. Mr. Barr talked about Ebola TPS. I was part of a national campaign on Ebola TPS to begin legal status. America, your identity, your citizenship is based on a shared value, not on your ethnicity. In America is what you believe in the Virgin of America. Kamala Harris does not fit into the traditional American definition of identity because her father from Jamaica, her mother from India. But that is why, that's the beauty of the country. That is the greatness of America. That is why Liberia can fulfill its greatness by embracing all people. But at the same time, there are laws. Finding a balance between the law and being open and generous is critical. But Paul Kennedy, James Goodey, the previous panel here did a wonderful job. And do not listen to no objection from Fadiga. He loves to create fake objections that do not exist. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ketama. Fadiga, you said
let me say this.
So go ahead.
Kiatama is a beneficiary of the Fulani community in that financial. You know what I'm talking about. So he doesn't fit the definition of I don't want to make it all.
Kiatama, you gotta be careful because Fadiga has become a Fulani tonight, so you need to be.
I'm telling you, man, the men completely, the men trying to kill Fula identity. The men, I thought the men for.
I'm enjoying the conversation, but sometimes they say the age of Methuselah is something now equivalent to the wisdom of Solomon. I have listened to this conversation, and I've listened to it so many times. Kiatama says something here that, let me disagree, then I will tell you where I agree with. Kiatama, there shouldn't be no discrimination of any form. What happened in this country, if you have gotten a passport before, whenever you go to renew your passport, that document should be there. It's a system failure that needs to be fixed yesterday. It's not unique to only Fula people. There is no way that you should have a legal document that was issued by a reputable institution, what are the health ministry or national identification registry, and you go back there, it's corruption. People need to be fired. It's a clever attempt to extort money from people. We're talking about people, lawmakers, all the other people. That's serious corruption and harassment. That's the only reason people are doing these things. I know it because I have experienced it. If someone didn't have the name recognition or the connection and that, so people will continue to do it. I know how people go through. So that shouldn't happen. But you know what? This is an easy fix. We need anti-discrimination laws. We need to strengthen it. We need to strengthen our minority group, just how it was done in America. But here is my problem tonight. And there are some things that I will hold back because I really want to have a conversation with the community, because the way you guys are proceeding in the way that we came out today, there was so many wrong things about today. But I will not say that yet. There was so many wrong things about today. We all were born in this country. I grew up in this country, but there are some things that, look, this fight cannot be won by only Fulani. This is a consensus building fight. This fight, they have to build a consensus of the general population. Liberia and every African country are going, they are heavily traveled and they are territorial. Even in America, people tend to be more territorial based on those, I don't want to say dog whistles, but based on those buzzwords. This is a very sensitive country. Anything that got to do with religion, anything that got to do with tribe, you have to tread on it very delicately. It's not automatic. It's something that have to come in gradually. And some of the mistakes that were made, like I said, I'm not going to say I want to meet with you guys. Look, the discrimination can be fixed. And to win this fight, you have to build consensus with like-minded people that have suffered this thing. And I heard of something, and let me close on it. You have to build, it shouldn't just be about Fulani. When it comes to discrimination, we need numbers in every immigrant in this country. You need to start building that consensus among people, because the bigger the volume, the easier legislation. And my last point here is this. You have to narrow down what you do. You don't need too many voices to say the right thing. The more the voice, there are some people that are very sentimental. You cannot fight this thing with sentiment, because there will be proper backlash if you're not careful. Your own good can turn to wrong. So you have to have a specific person or dedicated team in a unique message. We cannot get everything, but there are certain places that I know we can just live on the conversation. Certain things we can win off the back. You have to know how to fight. And I will leave it at that. The rest discussing in the back.
No, Paul.
Thank you. And
Paul,
good day.
Paul,
Good day. You will
Paul,
carry the
Paul,
make up. Yeah,
Paul, just 1 second. I think we listened to Brother Fadiga. He objection against me, actual support for me. So I like the word. I think he confusing of support and objection. So I'll let it go. Go ahead.
Go ahead. You are married into the Fula family, and you do not want to.
Kiatama, listen well to Fadiga. Fadiga had just sat down and used this platform to solicit consultancy from Mr. Ba and the rest of the community. The one Fadiga has done. But I think it was a very good show. And I think the conversation brought today on this public platform is long overdue. Look, the thing is simple. There are Fulanis who were born in Liberia, who are Liberian citizens and legitimately have the right to exist in Liberia as Liberians. Do not segregate against them because of their last name, Ba, So, Diallo, Ahmed, and so forth. These people who also have the same birth rights and citizenship of our country are only telling you, look, listen, don't discriminate against me because of what you perceive me to be. You know, this comes with a lot of public awareness, civic education, advocacy, and policy development. Like I think Katama or Fadiga said, we need our country to move to a next step, which will have something to speak against discrimination against people. We discriminate against Geo and Mano people. The first thing we keep on saying, the people that then brought the war. We discriminate against Crown people. We discriminate against Madingo people. Liberians, there are people in every society who will discriminate because of several factors, either that they are ignorant, either that they have personal prejudice, either that they're not enlightened on certain social issues. So this is a holistic issue that affects our society because of the current state of our society. And secondly, we are not very good at setting up systems. The system in Liberia are weak. I mean, I've traveled the world and I've seen how I've been engaged by, other immigrants other immigration services. Back in Liberia, some people know me now because of my frequent movement across the border, but there are places they really want to ask, what are you coming to do in the country? In fact, they come and say, Mama, you're living in America, you're coming here. I've lived in Liberia for over 7-8 years now. If you still think I live in America, then you're wasting your time. But there are discrimination going on, and the Fulanis should not relent on the engagement they've started. They should continue. However, because our systems are weak, they will continue to ask people who come from outside of the country, from Mali, from Niger, from Nigeria, from Senegal, who also bear the ethnicity that the Fulanis in Liberia bear. Somebody asked, what's the difference between a Fulani in Liberia and a Fulani in Senegal? It's a big difference. The Fulani in Liberia who was born is a Liberian. The one who comes out of Senegal, it is not a Liberian. And he has to go through the citizenship path to become a Liberian. If these people are also going to bed under the system to say, will Fulani make all our citizens? I don't think that's the fight or argument these our Fulani brothers and sisters on this podium are making today. They will be giving the rights. They are asking for the rights. They are asking for the privileges that all Liberians have. That does not mean that one Fulani man come from Guinea or Nigeria or Senegal hearing this will run into the country now trying to get a Liberian passport. You will have to go through the immigration scrutiny, and if you are qualified to be a Liberian before you can be given that Liberian citizenship. It is not a right. It is a privilege for those people who are coming from outside the country, where our citizenship is a right by birth for those people who are born there and grew up. So I think this is a good show, and this is a good conversation that we are starting, not only for Fulanis, we should begin to do public and civic education and public awareness on the birth and citizenship rights for every Liberian who are in and outside of the country. Good day, you can carry this. I don't think that there were any better show. Tell Stanton, there was never a better show than the one we had today because of the level of engagement and civility we had on this platform. And we want to thank Spoon for giving us the opportunity to do that. Gentlemen, my food ready. I gotta go eat.
Good day. Please give Fatiga and Abdul Katamba my number. If I want, I can get it from Salimatu anyway. So I don't have
it. In the first place, I don't have your number.
Oh.
And
I will get it. But thank you, everybody. Thank you.
I think I posted my number in the chat. You can.
My man, Caesar Sally get my number. Caesar Sally get my number. Ask me my number. Ask me my number.
I will get it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. So just in conclusion, is an advice to the communication team. Like, listen to most of the guys here, bringing contradictory statements. Some are saying, bringing laws that they cannot defend, like Barry, the former student leader. So I think the team has to set a specific communication team. Everyone cannot appear. If 2, 3, 4, 5.
Great suggestion.
Yeah.
Good day. Good suggestion. Good suggestion.
That's
Good day.
exactly what I was alluding to.
Yeah, 2, 3 persons,
Yes.
4 will be okay. You just channel the line. Hey, this is what we're targeting. Let's go like this. We agree. All Fulanis in Liberia are not Liberians. All Loma in Liberia are not Liberians. All the tribes in Liberia, most of them are not Liberians. If you go to Lofa County, I'm from Zozo, Fisebu, right? Between Fisebu, Zozo, Yela, not all the Loma people around there are Liberians. We are interrelated. Like me, I have link with Kwanyama. So my family's in Kwanyama, they will come to Liberia. They will come to my village, Gizibwega, to make farm or to settle there. It doesn't mean they are Liberians. They should be questioned. And we have differences. The way we speak our Loma is different from the way they speak their Loma in Guinea. The same as, I think, the Fulas. I think it's everywhere. So we should agree. Our brothers who were born like Mohammed, I think he was in JJ Ravo while I was in Tottenham. We all went to school in Liberia. Why should tomorrow, if we get to those bigger positions, why should I be questioning and say you are not a Liberian when I know that this guy and I, we were in the same country, we went to school together. Why should I say he's not? So I think we should do it. And let's stop discriminating against them. And when they actually don't say it is a discrimination, hey, answer. Just answer and tell them, I'm this, here I was born, this is my document. If you present all the supporting documents and then they continue to say something, hey, go to the court. You can call your leaders and take the issue out with the agency that will be doing that. But I think the communication arm needs to do well to really restructure. Having too many people will derail the good intent of the message.
Thank you. Good day. Well taken.
No.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. I gotta go.
Mm-hmm.
See ya.
No, Paul. Good day. Brilliant suggestion. Brilliant. Very brilliant suggestion. Good day. Very brilliant. You want to say that?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Good day. You my Loma Fula brother now. Okay. Thank you.
Good day to you. Good day to you. Good day. Good day to you.
Good day, everybody. Thank you, everybody. We appreciate you guys, and y'all be here for us soon. Fatiga, please get my number from Katamba or Good Day or Spoon, please. Very important.
Fatiga trying to be a consultant.
Hey, that's okay. What you trying to be?
No, that's social consultant. Social consultant. Social consultant.
My people. Let me tell you something. My first woman in Liberia, my first girlfriend I would live together was a Fula girl.
So you're married together. Definitely been together again.
No, I travel.
People are seeing her.
So you don't tell me that whole thing there.
And then you what? Why we go to pull out?
He
on the phone.
Okay, bye.
All right. Bazo Fula man.
It has been an exciting show today,
And I hope they continue with this. Maybe they can.
The last point you struck, that's what I was saying. That the communication arm of the entire campaign needs to be restructured and be channeled through a particular segment. Yeah.
So Chogo, before we close, why many Basel people supporting this fight. Basel people love fight though.
I saw some comments on the live.
Jogo, you go. Bro. You are in the back.
Yeah.
You can come on and close the show. I think we took a lot of time.
Yeah,
So tonight
yeah.
we're gonna have
You know,
something.
our laughing, James.
I
Wow,
saw that
laughing.
comment. Don't read the comment out. I saw the comment. Liberian people.
No, boy, it has been a great show, and you know, it has been a great
The mean,
show.
Choco, one of the takeaways here has to do with this. Many Liberian people are those who call, they are frustrated because they get married and Fula people. But anyways, you can
Yeah,
close the
the
show
the
up and
men are the
we hope they come
concerns
back.
that marrying be they
Yeah,
won't
so bye
marry.
bye. You can go up. It's late.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so there you have it. We say thank you so much for listening and following Spoon TV here. Today's edition of the Spoon Talk with me, Trocon Flaman, and we've been bringing you the Flag Day celebration edition of the Spoon Talk on Spoon 107.5, Fabric 101.1 FM, and also Super 95.5 through our Facebook. And also, we were also live on Spoon TV, Super TV. That's how I would like to go home. My name is Trocon Flammer. Thank you so much for being there.